Their apartment's gonna be burned down later at this rate.
No, we don't have insurance. We've already talked about this already, maybe, okay?
How's that? Is that better?
Yes.
Oh, I do like this.
Yes.
Yeah, this one, the nameplates on this are now part of the OBS and not part of the like background. So yes, I did it live for you.
Thank you.
I do really like this new setup.
Thank you. I like it too. Admittedly, it's for a 5-player and 1 DM. So since I'm a person live, I'm going.
Where's my image?
You don't have one.
If you want to broadcast to my computer, I will gladly add you to this stream, Flub. Or actually, Slump. Jesus Christ!
Wow,
I tried not calling you by your real name because I've been sitting on the fact that I know
not my real name.
Discord tells me things.
You just pulled a clow. You called Slump Flub.
Yes, I do this.
And your Flub
Wait,
makes it worse somehow.
If
Am
you
I?
want to stream Slump,
What does
I
Discord
will
tell you?
I thought it was
Flub.
Ralgo. It tells me things.
Hello, everyone.
How did Discord
Welcome
tell
to
you?
the Chaos stream.
What's
This
up?
is Galrok Stoneborn here.
Wait, DM's asking a question.
Why is half of you? Oh wait, no. This is. I think. This is just my. Yeah, this is just. I need to refresh the camera.
Okay.
You want to know something kind of mean? I was gonna go onto the bed and say, but who's that flaky guy we used to play with who played that bad bard? But I can't remember his name.
Hey, he turned into a sentient crossbow and was never heard from again.
Yeah.
That is what happens.
There you go.
That's an accurate retelling.
That is what happened.
You do not actually remember his name for a minute, Clow?
I did not know.
I will always remember him. He left a
will
lasting
always
impression upon my reality because he came back for all of one session. Hey, he was level 1. What do you
Sounds
want
like the
from him?
best barbarian.
That's
How could he be at school of anything if he was level 1? How could he be at school of anything if he was level 1?
No, he stayed up till level 5. I think.
Yeah, he played for a
He
little
just
bit.
never seemed to change up his strategy at all.
Listen, I am a Triton and I am here for justice. Meet my club.
The Club of Justice!
They will I will
Also,
tell great tales of my club.
Also, Baffle, I don't know if I ever got to say, but Fluke, Sneak Attack were on point with those robots, but are you aware of how important it was that you were his wingman during that fight?
I'm pretty sure that like a lot of your shit works by being adjacent to someone, doesn't it?
Yeah, not only adjacent, but the fact that he has pack tactics. So we were in the middle of the dark. So if it wasn't for pack tactics, it would be with disadvantage. And he can do sneak attack, honestly, alone, because he's a swashbuckler, or with friends, but not with disadvantage ever.
Well, my thing also is that like I upped my dexterity like really early on in the game, and I actually kind of wondered if I should do that because you know I definitely like the growth and development of character and everything. But no, I needed that.
Yeah.
AC is important.
Well, that is the fun of playing someone who desperately needs 2 stats some of the time too.
All right, but we're on stream. We're recording. Who wants to recap? Unless anybody has any other questions or concerns.
You're asking the question, so I think you should do it.
I love it when you do my job for me.
Questions?
No, let's have Decorm recap because you know he was here for the whole thing.
Oh my god.
Well, I will tell you what happened.
Yes, do it.
I did the most legendary game of Dragon Chess ever.
No, that was
And
2 sessions
died
ago.
with the speaker of Tiamat. We became friends, and she offered, at least I asked her, for an alliance, and what that would bring me. He came forward with this purple gem that would be able to destroy even a king. Of course, I was tempted. But it was my little friend Ezra who was even more tempted to assassinate the king. But still, we weren't quite able to do it. So we ran. We ran back to our friends. And they also did some stuff, not important. We met. We went to the little dome, and somewhere we knew in the cave was a man named... Well, we knew there was a centaur, but I knew it was Chodi. Chodi came down and looked like a dumb buffoon, as I expected him to look like. And there was some talk about fire magic, and Galrok seemed to be very interested into that. Almost too interested. He always seemed to like this Chodi guy, or at least not try to kill him. He was not part of the all we need to know. Chodi got to go.
Got to go.
As
You're
Ray
right, he was not part of that.
We talked with the Chodi and he blabbered and he blabbered and he blabbered. And then he mentioned the father of Hephe was also in this cave system. So we followed him to save this man. I very tactically and with emotional support informed him that his son passed. And of course he was thrown in a fit of rage as Chodi and this Galrok fellow went somewhere else. I gave him my hammer to enact his vengeful revenge. And when Chodi came back, he smashed him with the hammer. But of course, the real adventuring you need to leave to the adventurers. We fought an heroic battle with this demonic Chodi that turned out to be protected by 3 black Abishai. We killed the demons. And the noble dame prevented us from killing the man, so we could ask further questions.
I love that
That's
recap.
all I remember.
I love that
That
recap.
was kinda
Nothing
interesting.
else needs to be added.
I knew as soon as I suggested it, he was gonna Varric the fuck out of that, and he did not disappoint.
He did not. There is one
Slump can especially appreciate that.
Yeah, Cherry as well.
Assuming to add to that,
No. Yeah.
I was just gonna say he mentioned something that I had to go back and listen to episode 15 of our own stuff about to find out about, and he mentioned that his grandfather had poisoned a pool of health. And it got me thinking, didn't our friendly fire Jin guy mention something about it possibly being a poison? And so we went back and listened, and like, yeah, it seems like it's that Chodi might unfortunately be telling the truth on that bit, and just throwing that out there.
Yeah, wasn't there also talk of the ravaging flame being poison too, and that's why he went ravaging?
Oh, he called them the Flame of Revival.
Yeah. There's some questions. There's some questions there.
Wasn't there also talk about something being trapped in a crystal?
I guess
that's
we'll
on
have
our
to
end.
find out.
That's more of this session now.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So
I hear
That's
the
a weird-
ravage. Oh, you go.
So, Chodi lies unconscious. Decorm has managed to keep himself from smashing in his head. And for a moment, it's very quiet. As you all stand there, staring at him. What'd you do?
Well, I'm gonna head upstairs and read those books.
I
I'm
bust
going
out.
to. Go ahead.
I bust out some rope and I toss Azrain and I say, "Tie him up."
We were on the same
All
page.
the
I was
magic
just saying I'm
stuff
gonna tie
off
him
him
up.
first. Who's
She's
magic
gonna
stuff,
throw
get
the
off.
staff towards Teak to make sure that she can do something with it, since our other smart person's gone upstairs. But Azri's gonna try to tie the hind legs and then the bottom legs while Azri preoccupies with hands.
Name Teak, so fluke. I say as I'm in the midst of this.
Like
Go
stands up
find-
like, yeah.
Go find Kozen. See to it that he heads up to the library with the rest of you.
Oh, yes. Making sure he doesn't wander off too far. Also,
Not
I
in
think
this
it's
system.
important to... Oh, yes. Also, I think it's important to note, no matter how guilty or innocent he is, we now know that it's not really just like an innocent, oh, the fire people are good, so on and so forth. They're working with, Abushi, so if he's innocent, he's been probably tricked to some degree. I think it's important to note that.
I think he's a pawn, just like Hephe was. These Abushi weren't of his summoning; they were there to make sure he lives, which means these Abushis just want him to perform the ritual.
Am I still within earshot, or am I outside of that area now?
Kind of depends on how fast you went up.
Okay, then I'm gonna shut it down. He did say that there were some kind of magics used on him.
Yes,
yeah,
it probably has something.
He wasn't.
Go ahead. I'd actually already stopped by the time you stopped. I think you were just a little delayed behind, and it's just a mismatch on internet timing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We were talking about it earlier. It's like I don't mean to, but he was just like, yeah, he seemed to think there wasn't anything demonic involved. So, but that's we're learning. We're figuring stuff out.
We'll learn more when he wakes up, and I tighten on his front hooves, and I say, "Could you go find him, please?"
Yes. Just try not to open up a hellmouth while I'm gone.
What was this about his library?
Chodi said he had a library up in the upper room.
Sounds fun.
Hey, Galrok, do me a favor. See if you see anything about fire's spirits losing their bodies and being fused with impure flames. We met a fire spirit once before who gave us some detail about that, and it might be a way to point you in the right direction.
I will keep that in mind, lassie.
Not that you mention it.
Come along, Galrok.
Do what you will.
I'm going to look at Azri and say, now that you mention it, something's been bothering me.
And what would that be? And she says that in your head.
Do you remember, of course you remember, the enormous march with Crayope and all those mages to the Sleeping Watch?
Yes.
They're over by the Sleeping Mountains. Crayope's wanting you to do reconnaissance while we're here, underneath the Lost Swamp. And then...
Of a sorts?
Well, Galrok and Teak suddenly show up from the Sleeping Mountains by magical means. And Crayope's wanting you to do reconnaissance here in the Lost Swamp.
Maybe, but I think a little bit that maybe, I don't know. I just know that they mentioned that they got here because they were in some ruins and pressed a button.
And Crayope had tons of mages with him.
The question is, do you think Crayope knows where Teak went then? Because I doubt he has any connection to Galrok.
I don't know how much he would know of that. I just know that he seems to at least have an idea that he needs to know what's going on here for some reason, even though he's on the other side of the continent.
I have a bigger worry. What if Crayope is aligned with the second prince, and they are wanting to destroy Rubel and begin a war with the first, with the crown prince? Because...
I point a finger at her and I say, that's exactly why I bring this up.
So you, I just imagined that, like, Teak just sees you point at me randomly. But, and she's going to say back in your head thing, yes, I think that this is a civil war brewing if I ever saw one.
Postman, can you make a history check real quick? There's a detail here that you could know, technically.
Story. Is that good enough?
14, you... No. Sorry.
Fuck.
This was all in your head, so the Decorm couldn't have heard this. No, okay. No, you don't know.
Nope. But that will further me to say what's been on my mind, and that is, just feel, can't shake it. Something's happening. I can't explain it, but I feel as if though, some point since we've been down here, a clock started ticking, and I don't know what's going to happen when it reaches its end.
She's gonna look you square in the eye and say, "I truly believe civil war. I don't believe we told you last session." So she's gonna sigh and say, "While we were down there, the speaker offered us a deal to kind of help assassinate one of the princes."
And you said no?
Reluctantly, yes, I said no.
Well then.
Mix that with the whole destruction of Rubel and the army marching towards the Sleeping Watch, and then the fact that when we got to Rubel, they were like, "We need to get our magical defenses up. We need to make sure we're ready," and blah blah blah, when we first entered, and all that jazz. Yeah, I smells like a war brewing, and I don't know if it's a civil war where the princes are going to attack each other, or if it could be, like you said, reconnaissance for over here, and they're marching to the Kingdom North.
Rubel was upping their defenses when we came through. That's why we got stopped on the way into the city.
Yes, he even mentioned about how everyone is finally cracking down about that.
You have to give your report today. What are you going to say?
I don't know. I'm gonna inform them that the leader of the Silver Blossom clan has passed. That we've captured the leader of the Flame of Revival clan / Ravaging Flame clan, depending on what lore you've heard. He seems to have some sort of... I don't know if I want to bring up the ritual. I'll just claim I captured him, I guess. Explain what we've seen since we've been here, and so far what little we've managed to garner.
All right then, hopefully it doesn't bite us.
Do you think I should bring up the Speaker of Tiamat? Might bring up the Speaker. Why does my mic keep sagging? What is going on here? Like it's like trying to lean into my pectoral chest, and it's just like, what are you trying to do here? Suckle my teat?
Oh my
no
God.
Microphone.
It's
like
a wonderful teats.
Son of a bitch. Anyway.
Okay. Is that your conversation, or?
I think so.
Okay. Then let's first go to Decorm and Galrok, as you have some time to investigate the library. Either one of you make an investigation check with advantage, or both of you at the same, or a separate one, depending on how you're going about this.
What are you looking for?
I'd be looking for anything that be involved in the fire spirits, particularly in these books that he sent out. He pointed out to me.
I would start with the books you... Can we just take them?
I suppose we could just take them and read them on our own level, but I think that I'd like to read them as much as I can now. I mean, my whole quest was to come out here and figure out what's going on with the fire spirits and why they keep coming and reborn and burning the whole world down.
Why?
So I can become the next level of wizard, of course.
Huh. I thought your story would be interesting.
Hold on 1 second. Let me pull up my backstory stuff real quick.
You don't think I'm interesting enough?
Does Asri hear him yell about stopping the fire spirits, or like figuring out why the fire spirits keep burning stuff down because he yelled, or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, making sure.
Look, Corin's been to college. He knows how final projects be.
I basically, TLDR, I want to level up to the next level of rank, but I forget what that is. I want to become a 1-star mage. Okay, I want to become a 1-star mage lad. Right now, I have no title. As soon as I finish these investigations, I might be able to become a 1-star mage.
Alright.
That's a rather big deal.
That. I'll help you, Luke. I'll help you, Luke.
Thank you, lad. I rather like that Chodi fella. I mean, I thought he was going to be able to help me out, but then he had those damn Abishai helping him out, and you know what? I don't got nothing to do with those.
Yeah. Give it a couple of... how long been you adventuring for?
I don't know, like a couple of weeks, lad. I mean, I've been investigating and stuff, and sometimes it leads me into things. But this current one, I don't know, a couple of weeks or two.
Give it a few more weeks, then you'll get the knack of it. You can see an evil guy instantly.
I mean, I don't know if he's so evil or not. I mean, he did say that he came down here and he was experimented on. And he had some magics that he didn't like. I mean, it was pretty suspicious that he didn't answer my questions about him. But he was in the middle of combat and about to die. So I mean, I might not pay attention to what some brethren dwarfs saying and be paying more attention to what's trying to kill me. You know?
What?
What I'm saying is that once he wakes up, we better ask him some questions. I mean, if I can take a long rest, I can detect his thoughts, and I can tell whether or not he's telling the truth or not. I mean, you look to be a paladin. Are you able to do any of that zone of truth shit?
What?
Can you tell if someone's telling the truth?
Very badly.
Do you have any magics that can do that?
I can certainly try.
All right then. I mean, as soon as he wakes up, we'll be doing that then, aight?
All I'm gonna say is that man tell no tale. But we are gonna rob those books, right?
Oh, absolutely we're gonna read these books. I mean, they might have valuable information in them.
Rob.
Rob, I mean, I don't want to be stealing nothing.
Who else is gonna use them?
That's a good point, but I mean, he did say that these are family heirlooms. And you know what, I don't like to fuck with family heirlooms. That's kind of sacrilegious to dwarves, you know?
Fair. Alright, hoot and toot and get to reading.
Alright, hoot and toot and get to reading. Advantage investigation, you say?
Yep.
Okay.
And we're gonna have the grave robbing versus anthropology debate.
It's not natural 1, so hey.
Yeah, that was the other side anyway.
With a 15, you kind of first take a quick read through of skim through of all the books, and there are 3 books that he had kind of pointed out to you.
Okay.
And it seems to you that they're all kind of written in this crudely. Not very well, how do you say, not very neat handwriting as well. And they're actually in Sylvan, I believe. Let me check that real quick.
Do I know Sylvan?
No, they're in Primordial.
They're in Primordial. Do I know Primordial? I do not know Primordial. However, recognizing that it is in a language that I do not know, does comprehend languages do reading? You also understand, so I will start ritual casting comprehend languages, because I don't have it prepared, but I can ritual cast it realizing that it's in a language I don't understand.
Okay.
Can I, as he's ritual casting, try and look for the most expensive book in there?
Sure, make an investigation check separate. So with comprehend languages, and you kind of have this quick glance over still. The 3 books, they are basically the diaries of various leaders of the Flame of Revival clan. The oldest one is still talking about the on the other side of the in the Sleeping Mountains as well. It doesn't call it that, but after a couple of descriptions and talking points, you realize that he isn't in the sleeping or in the Lost Swamps here. He's in the Sleeping Mountains. And the second one, it starts with kind of this tension and how people are complaining out how the they call it the human tribes and the dragonborn tribes, though you know that those aren't tribes, those are the countries as well. How they are kind of pushing too far and getting too deep into the forest as it were, and they aren't happy with that. And how this tension is building, and at the end, there are entries about how a dragon came to attack them, and how the Flame of Revival has been corrupted, they would probably describe it as. And then in the last one, the newest one is where they are they start out as like a very not necessarily defensive, but as a very like mournful, because their god had basically like been locked away, and people think they're evil, and they're trying to kind of like right wrongs. But as you kind of read through them, like with every new leader of the clan, it seems like a little bit of that sense of morality from when they began is like decreasing in ever more pursuit of the goal of we need our god back.
Like the Centaur revival flame.
Yeah.
Flame of revival. Their morality is starting to go away.
The goal of getting the flame of revival back becomes like ever more important, and like everything to accomplish that, as it were.
Well, according to these, is that what he's saying might be adding up and being true. I mean, he's saying that all their spirits have been poisoned and all that, but I mean, it seems like they're getting more and more desperate. That's why it's such sacrilege to believe that these spirits are gods. I mean, come on, they're spirits. I mean, what kind of gods have ever been poisoned before? Who's ever heard of such a thing? I mean, if they're truly gods, they can't be poisoned, you know?
So lucky she's not there.
I don't disagree with you. It's nice to have finally someone somewhat sensible around here.
I mean, spirits, what kind of gods are those? Those are just special kind of beings that are just a little bit more powerful than us mortals, yeah?
Not necessarily so. I met a couple of spirits who were just weak-ass bitches.
You get my point exactly, lad. I mean, you may not have such a dense skull after all. And you know what? I apologize for making those comments about you earlier. I should have had more time to listen to you. It's just having those Abashi and helping them out and giving them that necrotic orb energy has just roiled my feathers. You know what I mean, lad?
I guess so. I did have alternative motives, but
what were those motives, laddie?
Do you know Lord Orton? He's a dwarf.
Do I know Lord Orton? Apparently he's a dwarf.
And a wizard.
Make either a history or an arcane check with advantage.
It sounds like I do know who. No, I know someone else, I think, huh? The 26.
26. You have 100% heard of him. Like, he is, especially in the wizarding world, he's very famous for his work on divination magic. And probably, like, a lot of his writings on it have been, like, your studying material, as basically before Lord Orton, divination magic was kind of not seen as a real form of magic and a bit of, like, mumbo-jumbo. But with this... with Lord Orton has come like this much more sophisticated look at turning divination to something like, how do we learn things through magic? How do we know things that otherwise you wouldn't be able to know through magic?
Okay, but he's not the vampire guy, right?
No, that's it. Oh, you would also know that's his father.
What?
That his father's the vampire guy?
I'm fairly sure that.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember vampire and background. I don't remember who that was. I was pretty sure it wasn't Lord Orton. I just wanted to make sure. Oh, yes, that is a magnificent dwarf indeed. He's the one that surely brought about the divination magics and made us to start to understand a whole new level of magical studies. Yes, that man is quite fantastic indeed. I would love to be able to meet that man.
What? He is an acquaintance of mine, so I might be able to introduce you. How about, would you like to ask him a question?
I would love to be able to ask that man a question. I mean, there are so many questions I could even begin. I can't even think about.
Start thinking, and I'm gonna grab my sending stones and really hope that somewhere above the clouds it has been done. It
hasn't been yet. Your stone is still inactive.
I'm gonna be honest with you, lad. My more pressing matters is to figure out what's going on with these fire spirits. But as soon as that's been settled to rest, I would love to be able to have a nice long conversation with this acquaintance of yours. Perhaps you could give us an introduction.
I'll do that, but for now, think about it in the next couple of hours. What the one question? If you were only able to ask him one question, what would it be?
And you're gonna be using that stone of yours, lad.
Yes.
Okay, so 25 words or less. I mean, it's gonna be a pretty short question, but understood. Are you planning on using any of those words?
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, then how about you tell me how many words I'm allowed to use, and then I'll use that as a basis to understand my my questions that I can ask.
Let's keep it at 12.
Keep it at 12 words. All right, I can think of a 12-word sentence, 12-word question. Thank you very much, lad.
You're welcome.
Your help has been fantastic.
I try to be helpful, and I think we went off on the wrong foot indeed. It was the heat of the moment, but I think we'll be very good friends in the end.
All right, let's give it a few years, and then we'll determine if you're truly worthwhile, lad. And I'll hand out my hand to shake.
I can work with that, and I'll shake.
Huzzah! To the dawning of a friendship, perhaps.
And to killing some fire spirits.
I mean, we don't need to necessarily kill them if they've been poisoned. Perhaps we can cure them of their ailment.
Hephe could.
Yes, everybody's been talking about this Hephe. I mean, I understand that he's been a great lad, but how exactly did he die?
I would tell you, but it will probably just give you a headache.
Trust me, traveling with you lads have given me enough headaches.
Fair point.
Exactly.
He was very devoted. He wanted to do good. We thought we had a plan, but the plan didn't succeed. And he jumped. It was an unpleasant death.
And now his soul is trapped down here, eh?
Indeed.
That is unfortunate indeed.
You don't like these Abishi, right?
I hate them indeed. I have a serious grudge against them. They've killed my traveling party down here. And the traveling party that your good friend Teak has been traveling with. We met each other in the Sleeping Mountains, and then we teleported over here, and shortly after we all died from a bunch of monsters. It was terrible indeed. They just disappeared. And now I'm being told that means that their spirits are stuck here forever as well. That is truly unfortunate.
So your grudge is based on revenge?
Aye! What else does a dwarf need?
Fair. Let's go back to our new party members.
Alright, I would love to be able to question this Chodi some more. I mean, it sounds like he has valuable information that we might be able to figure out from him.
I really don't, but I'll try to that Zone of Truth thing you talked about.
Ah, so you do know the magics!
I honestly, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not really sure how my magic works.
Alright, well perhaps I can help you with that.
That
You are a paladin, yes?
Yes.
And it comes from how you believe. What tenets do you swear by?
Decorm just goes in a blank stare to the floor.
Now, lad, you're a paladin. There must be something that you truly believe in. What is your oath? Come, do not be shy.
Do you know the Crimson and Scale Brotherhood?
History check, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Just normal?
Yep.
That's 19.
19, you know them as, and I have to look up the name. Levasti, I'm fairly sure.
That sounds right.
Yeah, Levasti. You know in Levasti, the Order of Crimson Scales, and because of your history, you know that it's it is the Order of Crimson Scales. There are a couple of varying names and combinations, and some people think there are multiple orders around there, but you know that there's only one, and you know that they are basically the enforcers of the princes in the Kingdom of Levasti. They have in some ways a similar role as the draconic sorcerers in Vital.
Ah, so you'd be the enforcers of the royalty there, eh?
Hey. Previously.
Previously, you're not currently part of this enforcement group.
There are two things I believe in. Me and the exact opposite of everything they believe in.
Ah, so you do not believe in the royalty of your country then, lad?
What?
I mean, if your order is the enforcers of your country, and you don't believe in the enforcers, then clearly you do not believe in your country then, lad.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I mean, then I don't understand how you haven't fallen, but I guess I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, we're gonna go now. Has been fun.
I mean, you're saying that, but I feel like you're just saying that.
He does do that.
Alright, then let's go down and see if we can't wake up this Chodi fellow. See if he can't corroborate some of this information in these books.
I love the interaction of... Sorry, if you want to say something, Cherry?
No, I said, and off we walk.
Okay. So I love the interaction of, I feel like you're just saying that. Yes. Okay, then.
I mean, he's honest. I accept this as a dwarf.
Fluke and Teak. You make a perception check.
Also, is Flub also standing in for the backseat of Teak again?
I assume.
Oof! Not here, can't see.
So mine's a bit better?
It is a little bit better?
Maybe just a wee bit better.
Teak walks out and kind of looks around and is kind of like with her hands in her sides, and she just can't find I forget his name again.
Kozen. Keep forgetting his
thank
name.
you. She just can't find Kozen. Fluke, you look around and you do see him not very well hidden, but like an attempt is made. And with a 26, I'll also say you... Well, you've been walking down here. You've constantly had this, like, on your peripheral, you constantly have seen like shadows moving and on the walls, and you suddenly notice that that's gone now, and you also, like, in the distance, you hear some, like, in the distance from, which would be in the direction of where you first met Avan. It does sound like something large is moving, and not quite sure if it's coming your direction or if it's moving somewhere else, but that's also because, like, these cave systems are very narrow and have, like, lots of nooks and crannies, so it's difficult to pinpoint exactly what direction it's going, but something close by is moving a lot.
Okay, yeah, Fluke's just gonna be like, nice attempt on hiding, sir, but we've dealt with the Abushi. Chodi is knocked out and ready for interrogation. We're not killing him just yet, so, you know, please don't try that. But I don't like the sounds of that. I think by fighting those Abushi, we might have upset some of the others. I'm not going to make assumptions, but best to stay in a group.
All right, and he comes walking at you. You can clearly see, like, this whole toll, both emotionally but also physically, has taken a large toll on him.
Okay, okay, so we're going to do our best to take care of you and, you know, deal with the situation. Not really sure exactly what's going on with Chodi here, but we are fairly certain that there's corruption going on in the clan, but we're still trying to get to the bottom of that. We're going to do our best for you.
All right. And assume you lead him back indoors?
Yep, back to the group, because if we're going to get attacked by that extremely large displacer beast or whatever it was, then we want to do that as a group.
If I may, I realized I was still muted. I had asked with that Nat 1, could that be because she was looking over the fire staff from earlier?
Oh, that can, sure. Yeah, so that they would probably come in about at the moment that that your conversation between Ezra and Porcelain has ended. I'd say because of the ritual casting and the reading, the Decorm and Galrok will take a little bit longer. So in the in-between time, make an arcane check for Teak.
Can Teak cast Identify out of curiosity?
Oh my god.
I think she can. Does she have
I've rolled
Identify?
2 Nat 1s for Teak, though.
That is true.
What the fudge?
Gotta be her realizing she needs to cast Identify.
Apparently. She has her 2nd level spell slot, so she can.
Oh yeah, she can cast rituals, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
so.
can artificers cast rituals?
Let me see. Let me Google
I
it.
don't think so.
Good
think it was a
question,
thing.
actually.
You can cast an artificer spell as a ritual if the spell has a ritual tag and you have a spell prepared.
Okay, good. Then
And she has it prepared, so she
Okay.
will do identifications. While she's
Alrighty.
doing that, Asri's going to ask Decorum and Porcelain's help pulling him away from the stairs a little bit, and kind of
the Decorm isn't
propping him
back
up.
yet.
Oh, right, my apologies. Asking then help from Porcelain to pull him away from the wall so she can then proceed to cast alarm around him.
All right.
Okay. Where do you want him? Actually, I'm gonna.
Let me just
We
draw
actually
a-
don't need that. Don't think we need that much of. Yeah, actually, we'll just do this instead.
Okay.
Alarm's a cool spell.
You can't hear me at all in Flub or Ralgo, or is that?
No, I can
just
hear
saw
you now.
in
That
chat.
was old news. That's
Gotcha,
when you
cool.
rolled the perception check, and I realized that I saw you talking on the stream, but I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
So he's tied up. Alarm spells cast around him. I think about the same time that the alarm spell has been done. Decorm and Galrok get back, and as well as the identify. She finds that Chodi's staff. Well, I'm just gonna show it. It's a staff. I'm not sure actually what it's called. It's a fire staff, staff of fireball, something along those lines.
Ooh, so
Yep, stab
a
fireballs.
artificer can't. I'm the only one that can use it. Screw you guys, it's mine.
I'm multi-classing to Warlock.
Wait, how did a cleric use this? Questions.
He's not. He's a warlock.
Oh.
That one's real easy. But
Actually,
also,
I
she can
think-
keep it to sell. Thank you.
Would you wait? Give me 1 moment to flip. I think Galrok make a history check.
Galrok, make a history check. I can do that.
You should do know at least a little bit about the clans and the spirits.
Ooh, that's a 21.
With that, you do know that's actually quite common for the spirit clans to have warlocks over clerics. Only like very few clans have clerics, and usually then that means that they have one cleric, and no one else is doing magic from the spirit.
So this Chodi fella is a warlock instead of a cleric. Interesting.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Yes, it would seem that this staff is something that can only be used by full casters of the sort, or ones who've been gifted to. I don't really have much of a use for it myself. Does anyone else? And she's gonna offer it up.
And also, it at this point has 3 charges left.
We can always spawn shit.
I mean, considering that we haven't heard from Chodi before, I mean, we might want to just keep this separated. I mean, if technically I'm the only one that can use it right now, so I'll hold on to it for the meantime. But until we know what's going on with Chodi, I'll hold on to it.
I concur. I feel Mr. Galrok could make best use of it.
Here you go, Galrok. And he will give it to him.
Thank you.
Sorry, Quinn. I don't know if you wanted to fill that, but I don't know.
I mean, it can't be used by anybody but me in this party, so.
We can
sell it. Or, like, uses for magic items, but... Go ahead.
Also, to be fair, Ralgo as a player has he didn't have much loot. Hephe didn't want for a lot, but he still lost all his loot.
And he's missing out on that one trained feat.
I don't want that to have an impact on current party stuff. I mean, that's pretty meta.
You're not,
but considering that no one else is able to use this but me, I'll hold on to it until we determine whether or not Chodi gets it back. I mean, I am a lawful character. I don't want to, steal anything. So.
I don't know if you can be trusted with it.
I mean, you attacked him first. He just defended himself.
He lied to Hephe. This is an attack in my mind. It was a disruption of my party. Yes. Sorry. Hold on. Yes. I just got done casting alarm around Chodi. What can I do for you?
You know what Galrok just told me?
Something about fire spirits that he read in a book.
Yeah, but that was boring. I can make people tell the truth.
She raises a singular eyebrow.
And I can detect thoughts, but I think I'll need a long rest for that. I don't have it prepared. I mean, I need to study my spell book.
Honestly, I don't know why we're not killing him instantly, but...
I mean, because he necessarily isn't a bad guy. I mean, he did say that some magics were performed upon him, and that he might, he didn't like the magics that were performed, so I mean, I don't trust him right now, but maybe those Abashi were part of what was going on. I think we at least owe him the opportunity to ask him questions. I mean, he didn't kill Kozum. He had every opportunity to kill Kozum. I don't think he's necessarily an evil character. Perhaps not necessarily good, but definitely not evil.
Debatable. However, we can't continue with that debate until we know more. That's why he's not dead, Decorum. We need to learn.
Ezra, can I play with Chonkers?
Who exactly is this Chonkers?
My
big cat.
My Tresium.
Oh, you have a Tresium lass.
Maul! And you see the butterfly wings on top of Kozum's behind quarters.
Can I roll Arcana to know what a Tresium is?
Sure.
He's a big old fluffy butts.
I'm assuming I know what a Tresium is with that roll.
Yeah.
Oh, aren't you a magnificent beast?
Maul!
He is the greatest.
Now, and he's going to fly over and land on Decorum, and then point towards Vivi and say, Maul, Maul, Maul. And like he's saying, you can watch the centaur now.
Nice. And I'm going to sit in the corner and play with Lord Chonkers.
Okay. What does the rest of you do?
Asri would like to proceed to start casting Liamon's tiny hut to say, hold on, let me make sure.
Is it time for a long rest?
I'm not necessarily doing it just for that, but I want to pull the spell.
How long has it been in game since our last long rest?
It has been a couple of hours.
So short rest territory.
But yeah, and also your previous, well, that counts actually for everyone except for Teak and Galrok. Your previous 2 long rests were fairly close by each other. So it would still be, it'd be getting tired as it were. How to say, you're getting sleepy, but just for mechanics' sake, it isn't close enough yet to get the benefits of a long rest.
Okay, good to know. So, Don't burn my 4th level spell slot.
Not yet. Casting this over him, because I'm going to basically put it in the same radius as I would have put it in the circle around the alarm, so that they match up. That way, if he leaves this dome at any point, the alarm would go off.
It is truly magnificent, lass, that you're able to cast these rituals. I mean, without even being a spellcaster, you appear to be a monk, lass. I mean, how did a monk learn to be able to cast spells?
I don't think she's spoken in your head yet. So for the first time ever, she's like, I don't know, just kind of born magic. I don't know, maybe. No, that's not true. We killed a necromancer and I studied his book, and that's how I started learning these spells. But I've always been able to talk in people's heads.
I'm gonna think back in my head. Are you able to hear my thoughts, lass?
Only if you let me.
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely shouldn't be letting you read my thoughts. I mean, the thoughts of a magic man are truly terrifying.
I mean, can I be real with you? If we're talking about terrifying, magic's just terrifying in general.
Ah, yes, you truly understand the true magnificence of magics, indeed.
That's why I only mess with the stuff that can be contained in a ritual book. Any more than that, and, well, let's put it this way. I talked to a ghost earlier and it possessed my body. Didn't like that.
I would never... I mean, if it was valuable information, then perhaps, but I mean...
Like I said, didn't
having
like
somebody
it.
be able to take control of my body and not having anything to say about it, that sounds truly an act of madness.
No, we were trying to garner information about what was down here. It's how we found about the off switch, so we did get useful information.
Oh, so it was meant for investigation, then you surely have the mind of a magician, indeed.
She's kind of like side-eyeing him just a little bit. This is the nicest dwarf she's ever met. She's like, I suppose. So, everyone, really quick, before I'm done casting this, huddle up so you can come through as you wish.
I will get closer, so that way I'm within the hut.
Luke will huddle.
And I'll think back in my head. I mean, there was a spellbook that you were talking about. Is there any chance that I could perhaps read it while we're in this hut?
I mean, sure. Since we got some downtime, I suppose why not? We were going to let you read it when you were up there anyways, so I suppose if we've got time, and she's going to let him look it over.
Okay.
It's...
I believe it's still in the items sheet, right? So you should be able to see it.
Yep.
Asri's Errandan spellbook.
I added the rituals that I've learned since then into there.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me.
The DC checks, remember, are arcane checks because they are to decipher which spells there are at that level as well.
Then can I start making? Can I make a Arcana check to try to understand them?
Yeah. With the because you're taking a short rest now.
A bit, yeah.
I would like to take a short rest. I could use some health die.
Yeah, I was gonna say a bit. I'd like it.
Okay, in that case, you do have the time to make that arcane check because it does take some time.
Okay, so I may make so we may roll health die at this point.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh.
And roll your arcane check as well.
Yeah, I'll do that once I'm done with the health.
Where did we get the fire mace again?
From a bunch of cultists that attacked Fluke.
Oh, it's true.
I'm gonna do one
I
more.
get to use this for the first time.
That's 4.
Okay. Max health, that was worth it. And my Arcana check.
You know.
The fighter class does not like you, Clown.
Oh, I only get to know level 2 spells.
I get second
Interesting.
wind back at a short rest, so I'm just gonna use it before the short rest, and I'll have it again.
Minor illusion, poison prey, prestidigitation, magic mist. No, I already know that.
Just means that you
burning
know which spells are written in there. So you know which spells are there.
Awesome.
And I also want to do
Oh, that one's Asri, not Teak. But it was not. Yes. Man, I'm rolling crap on Teak today, but we're rolling great for Asri. This is. I think I know what I need to do. Just always play both. Have one bad character. Have one good character.
so, Galrok, also with the with your check over it, you do find that after the spells, there's also this ritual spell that you don't really understand anything about. It does seem necrotic to you, but other than that, you don't really realize what's, or don't really grasp yet what's written there.
Okay, that's fair.
Max, okay, good.
Point it out to me.
Lass, would you... This appears to be a truly fantastic spell book. I mean, it's got plenty of spells in it that I do not have. Would you be willing to allow me to attune to it, so that way I can make it into an awakened spell book at one point?
Two things. One is a full disclosure. The necromancer we killed probably has a spare body and might come looking for it. And then second, I would like to get a spellbook to copy my spells out first.
Oh, that's no problem. I can give you a spell book real quick. I mean, I could give you a blank book real quick, and you can copy over the spells if you'd like.
Once we're out of the cave, we'll set to work on that. For now, I'd like to keep it as it is, if that's okay.
That's perfectly fine, Lass. I mean, just being able to give me this information has been fantastic indeed. I mean, there's so many spells here that I've laid eyes on before, but have not been able to transfer into my spell book. I mean, casting spells are just so darn expensive.
Amen, as she thinks about the money that she still owes Fluke.
I mean, it's a good thing that selling ale to dwarves is so profitable, but it's cool. It's not enough to be able to know every spell known to the dwarf kingdoms. You know what I mean?
I do.
I don't regret one bit of it. I mean, we needed waterproofing. I didn't know it would come in handy that quickly, but goodness.
I actually have a question. Because I believe I gave him the amulet of non-detection after I took it from Hefe's stuff. I'm going to ask...
Ask who?
I was looking at Fluke, sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to ask Fluke. Would you care if I sold that to you?
Kind of like raise an eyebrow. Sold the who what now?
The amulet of non-detection.
He'll tap his chin a little bit, just like... I mean, I suppose it's a handy thing to have. I don't know how well it's going to stop the insane cultists, but... mind having it, that would be fair enough.
I'm concerned again. Sorry, looking at it, I believe... Why am I not... Wait, we have it in the items list. Why am I Googling? Why am I Googling when we have item list? Which I don't think it's in.
There's 5th level spells in this book. I want this book so bad.
Anyways, fantastic. I will, because I know that basically you can't be scryed upon or tracked by magical means with that. But I'm not sure what else it does, so I'll have to look that up in a little bit. But once we get into town, we can appraise how much it's worth, so we can appropriately get that knocked off the debt.
Yeah, certainly. Maybe I'll owe you money. Who knows?
Doubtful. Because I don't plan on keeping the debt.
Yeah, platinum is expensive. We got a pretty good payout. It's nice having my own money.
Right? And she's like over waiting, like, is Chodi stirring yet? Is he still out cold?
Is he dead?
He isn't dead, but he is definitely still out cold at the end of your short rest.
Also, just gonna say, we were talking about it earlier. We were considering detect thoughts being kind of important.
I need a long rest for that.
Have you used your arcane recovery yet?
I don't have it prepared. I have not used my arcane recovery, which is something I need to use right now. Let me post arcane recovery. Did I not put arcane recovery into my... I am a bad player.
It's okay. Some people...
Is there anything you want to do?
If you're gonna shoot me...
just for seeing that you step out the dome?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to go over to Kozin and give him water skin and a ration.
Okay.
Oh, I did put arcane recovery in.
Greatly appreciate that. And he The water he drinks like very fast, but he kind of like very slowly only nibbles on the ration.
The person's going to be like a bit awkward at first because she's not quite sure how to like say or go about this. So she'll just say, "We'll ensure that he faces every consequence."
Goes and does kind of nod, but it's definitely like the bloodlust of before is gone, and he's now more dealing with the reality that his son and his wife have passed.
And Porcelain's gonna walk away because she is not good at this at all and wishes that somebody was here who was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I mean, Fluke's got a high charisma, but he does not understand how to approach this subject matter.
Sucks, cousin. Sucks, man.
It really does.
That's what I like to call the big oof.
Pat on the shoulder. That's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy. So we have our rest. Isn't it, did I have anything to do during this rest? No,
Bring
probably
hit
not.
points if you haven't.
No, I already rolled my hit points,
Okay.
and I don't think I get anything back on a short rest either, besides
I
that.
think as a fighter you get, well, not your spell slots and everything, but you get like the all your fighter abilities.
You
right?
get second wind back, and you get action surge back if you used either of those.
Oh, I haven't used either of those yet, so I
Okay.
never lost them.
Well, that's
You
a
get
good
nothing.
thing to keep in mind. If you never use your second wind, it's basically you could basically use it before the rest, like I did for an extra hit die. Just something.
Oh, we
Funny,
got
when
so
you
far
only
as
have two
robots.
It's.
But now you're not
that's
allowed
true.
back in the dome because you stepped out, silly goose.
No,
What?
you
I
have
can-
to be
That's not
inside
how
it.
it works.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not? I thought once you stepped out,
No.
you weren't allowed back in.
No.
No, that's why
that's
you
right.
have to be. You have to. Yeah, that's when I step out of it, it pops. But anyone who's inside of it, when it forms, is free to come and go as they please.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that's why I put alarm on the outside of the dome. That way, if he leaves the dome, we know. And it's gonna be a very loud.
Oh, it's an audible alarm, not a mental alarm. Good to know.
It can be either or. I said it when I cast. This one will be a very loud, audible alarm.
Okay.
We're gonna ring the
We've
dinner
learned
bell.
lessons after losing a hostage.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
Yes. Well,
Speak for yourself.
maybe. I never lost a hostage.
I mean, your characters never lost a hostage. You, as a player,
Shut
were
up.
freaking
Not my
Okay.
Acid
You're
Boy's
working on a
fault, not
feat.
my fault.
So, are we gonna wake him up?
I would prefer to wait until I can detect thoughts before we wake him up.
Now,
I mean,
what
it's
are we gonna do?
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of waiting around, but I also don't want to take massive risks.
Well, firstly, we should continue learning more. Galrok, what were you able to gather from the library?
I mean, I was able to gather that most of what he was saying seems to be adding up, but then whether or not it's true or not, it's a totally different story. I mean, he believes it to be true because, I mean, it appears to be a diary of his entire family.
What did you learn about the Flame of Revival? What is it, exactly?
If I remember correctly, it seems to be that it was
If you want to,
mind?
like for the, but like for that hour that you just spent, or that you're now spending waiting, we can say that you try to read like the first book again and make another arcane check if you want to.
on top of the spellbook.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, in that case you can't. So, I believe you know that it lived in the around somewhere in the Sleeping Mountains. like at the end of the third book and at the beginning of the second book, tensions were growing between the countries and the clans. And near the end of the second, a dragon attacked the clan of the Flame of Revival and corrupted it.
Could Teak do anything with the first book?
I mean, that's a good point. He wasn't doing anything other than giving me the book. So if he wanted to, if she wanted to read it, she probably could. But
which languages does Teak speak? Does she have comprehend languages?
She does have comprehend languages. I think. You better Teak, I swear to God.
She does not.
I'm looking at the C's. Catapult, charm person, cure wounds. God. Wait, is that not on the... Because that might not be on the Artificer spell list.
It could be. Well, it does sound like an Artificer thing, I think, but...
That's
Yeah,
because it sounds like a wizard thing. The God of Wizards gangs wizards.
Yeah. So, Teak can't make heads or tails of this.
Gotcha.
Just in a language that she doesn't understand.
well, based on what I've been able to decipher, Lassie, is that it was over in the Sleeping Mountains, which is on the entire different side of this little island continent thing that we live on. And then...
No, they don't.
There was some tensions between the forest and the civilized people, and then there was a dragon that attacked, and then the dragon poisoned the Ravaging Flame, or I guess as they call it, the Flame of Revival. I don't know this term, Ravaging Flame, so I didn't say that.
What? When they say a dragon attacked, what kind of dragon?
DM?
Yeah, it would have been described as a blue dragon.
It was a blue dragon indeed, Lassie.
That ring any bells for me?
You know, Celopis is a blue dragon.
That's one of the princes?
That is their crown prince.
Their crown prince.
Oh.
Would I know that as the Dwarf?
Make a history check for you.
Can just...
At a 14, you're not sure, but you're not sure if it was blue or black, but one of the two for the crown prince.
I mean, it could have been the crown prince. I don't know. We don't pay necessarily the utmost attention to your southerner countries. I mean, we're mostly concerned about ourselves and the discovery and pursuit of magics. I mean, your royalty disputes are much your own.
Well, it would seem that the argument's going to become much more relevant.
And why is that, Lassie?
Well, I look down at Azri and I say, I think you should tell them what you've told me.
I'm gonna cock an eyebrow.
Which bit? Is it the army moving up and thinking that there's a civil war about to happen? Because, like, is that...
And the
She's saying this out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw an army of like 5,000 with mostly mages heading towards the Sleeping Watch.
Oh, that's impressive. What kind of mages were they? What level?
I'd like Galrok,
3-star.
Luke,
oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
And
Oh, fuck.
Decorm to make history checks.
One of them
History
is like
checks.
my direct commanding officer, and he's a 3-star mage. I don't even really know his name yet.
Oh,
Assuming
wow.
Decorm is paying attention to what's being said.
I'll roll with
No.
advantage.
It was a 3. Do you need it?
Remains the 8. Galrok is interestingly the only one who knows this. For a very long time now, Vilvert, Semgat, and Alka have had a alliance, but that alliance is about to run out. And so for a very long time, it has been those three against Barilli and Levasti, and Levasti and Barilli also didn't like each other, so most of the fighting has been done there.
You're in the Red Valley.
But it's yeah, exactly. But expectation is that Vilford, Alka, and Semkat are not gonna be able to stand each other for much longer, as it were.
Okay, okay.
So it seems that the Red Valley is about to get a lot less red, as it were. And there will be a lot of pressure away from Livasti and Perilli once that happens.
I mean, considering what I know about the alliance between the Vilford, the Samact, and the Alka, I don't believe that it's much going to be a civil war as much maybe a preemptive strike against the three as their alliances are about to end. And also, you're saying that there's 3-star mages. That ain't no joke, Lasse. I mean, if they're 3-star mages, I mean, that's no joke.
Yeah, there's a few of them. One of them spoke to me in my head at a long distance
And
that wasn't sending...
How few is a few, Lasse? This is very important. There aren't very many 3-star mages out in the wild.
Crap. There was 2 3-star mages and like 4 or 5 2-star mages.
I'm gonna quickly have a look at it because
I think
it was a specific amount.
It was, and that's
there are
you
4
gave us
mages
actual
with...
numbers.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 1 3-star then.
Yeah, 3-star mages are not to be fucked with. Let's put it that way. I mean, they can count based off of what I'm looking at now. They are not to be fucked with.
Yes.
There was 1 2-star mage, 1 3-star mage. The 3-star mage is the one who was in contact with you, Ezra. You know that he is a mage that is very specialized on like super long distance spells, and basically what you know of him, during actual battles he'll just stay in camp and snipe at commanding officers of the enemy from camp as well. There was a Bronze Star Mage and a Gold Star Mage.
Yeah, I divulge all that to him. Yes, I tell him, like, yeah, Bronze Star, Gold Star. The 3-star is the one who's like my commanding officer.
You're telling me there's a Gold Star Mage mobilizing?
Yes.
All right,
mobilized. This was weeks
I'm gonna use my sending spell to tell my friend Runra.
Before you tell anybody anything, because I see him start to cast, do you want to hear everything I have to say?
I mean, what else do you have to say, Lassie? There's a Gold Star Mage. I mean, they can cast 9th-level spells,
The Speaker of Tiamat offered me a deal.
Hey!
Okay, I mean...
We had a
okay, Lassie, I mean, if we're telling everything that's going on, you better fucking tell me, lass.
I'm telling you what I can say. And she kind of, like, positions herself in a way that I know Decorm is burning lasers in the back of her head. But she's like, the Speaker of Tiamat was aware of my ability, and so when I spoke with him, he offered me the ability, a crystal of sorts, that would help me assassinate the Crown Prince.
What?
Who exactly do these Abashi work for?
Tiamat.
Tiamat, from my understanding.
Why would Tiamat want Lavasti to fall?
Probably because the dragons that are on... Go ahead.
I don't think it's so much as that. It's so much more if the prince is dead, then the contract is null, isn't it?
Probably.
Yes.
She wants to get out of here.
Yeah, that was less of for Tiamat. Tiamat has the deal to guard that thing, whatever it is. That's why they're down there. But they were looking to find a way to null the contract so they could remove themselves from being in that room. What that brought up in my mind, though, is that if the second prince is somebody who had organized all this, killing the first prince nulls their contract. That's why I thought there was a civil war coming, because I thought between the two they were going to fight. What I'm more worried about now is that you are correct in that these mages are mobilizing to begin an assault of sorts.
Can I make DM? You had the approximation number per million grayed out in the information you sent me.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any kind of check that I could make to know how many gold star mages Lavasti would have? Because having a gold star mage in the military out on the field is a very, very big fucking deal.
Make an intelligence check.
Just straight intelligence?
Yep.
Okay. Please roll high. Of course not.
Oh.
Wait, this is the end of the, Quinn probably wouldn't. I was gonna say Teak could give her flash of genius, but I don't know if an 11 would make a difference, would it?
Would anybody help me with this? So I have advantage?
I mean, Azri's actively trying to like give you
information.
I don't know if that counts, but
I think you can't really help with this because it's just your knowledge for yourself. I think Porcelain is the only one who knows about the star things, so she can also make a roll if she wants to.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fingers
Intelligence?
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, fingers crossed.
Oh.
No.
I mean, it makes
Porcelain-
sense. It's secret knowledge, right? You wouldn't want advertised how many of those you have.
No. Porcelain, you think about it for a moment, and you're just reminded of a couple of your mother's temper tantrums when she was refused the Bronze Star.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna sit with that a minute.
And Galrok with 6. You know at least. Sorry, I'm forgetting
It's fine.
the.
Gold Star Mage is not to be trifled with. Jesus Christ.
Just ask
damn
me
it.
what the name of the 3-star she was in when you're given the chance.
Let me have a look real quick.
This is so bad. This is so bad.
You know, Lord Regram is a Gold Star Mage. That's one.
Okay.
And you know, if the second one, assuming that is not Lord Regram himself, you know there's at least 2. And I'd say, just of your approximation, you know that Vitala has, you'd say, about maybe 5 Gold Star Mages in total.
Okay, and how's our population compared to the population of Lavasti?
Vasti is a bit bigger.
A bit bigger.
I'd say it's a significant amount bigger.
Significant. So maybe double?
Close to double.
Okay, so maybe 9 Gold Star Mages based off of that?
That's a fair assumption. That's for you to conclude.
Assume.
Okay, so I'm going to say, I mean, considering that I think that there's perhaps 9 Gold Star Mages in all of existence within the country, lass. But considering the pure fact that one of them's immortalized in this military action, I mean, I'm not going to take this lightly, but I think I might be shitting my pants.
Fair enough. Really quick, Slumperd, I don't know, can I ask, what was the name of 3-star mages, if she could try to figure out the one that spoke to her?
You would know his name, I think.
It's not the Marquis, but...
No, I have to look at their... Right.
What's that name?
Oh, yeah, I have him in a double thing, of course. You know
Full
that the one that you answer to is named Ruvar?
Ruvar.
You know that he is a Goliath. But much more than that you don't know.
Gotcha, yeah, like, my have you ever heard of Ruvar? He's a Goliath. He's a 3-star mage.
Are you saying that to me? Or just out
Yes.
loud? Have I heard that?
Yeah. Or, that's...
Have I, DM?
I'd say no. Is
Okay.
he... You're not really that... At least from what I understand, Galrok is not that knowledgeable about,
Yeah.
like...
I wouldn't be.
wars and, like, soldiers.
Nay, I wouldn't say that I'm particular knowledgeable of all of the people that are 3-star mages within your country. I mean, if you were talking about Vitali, most definitely. I mean, our magics and our defensive capabilities are quite much more knowledgeable to me than I would be of a foreign nation.
Just know that he's kind of notorious for when the battle starts, he just stays at the encampment and kills off the leaders of the enemy's team at the encampment because of how far he can just kind of snipe things and his
So he's
distances.
a spell sniper of sorts of evocation magics.
Yes, but there's other spell snipers like Teak. She's a spell sniper, but like
she's a spell sniper, but she's only an artificer. she's not a true mage.
okay, let me. What's the distance?
The most that she'd ever be able to capable of would be a 2-star mage, and that would be quite magnificent if she was able to make that feat within herself.
First of all, I'm not sure much about the star rankings. I'll be honest with you. I'm just trying to give I don't know. You seemed worried about what type of people were mobilizing.
I mean,
I don't know many of
absolutely,
them.
lass. I mean, a Gold
And
Star
this
Mage
is-
is able to cast 9th level spells.
Yes.
That's the most powerful magics known to any kind of mortal realm. To have a
Correct.
Gold Star Mage mobilized within an army ready for war is the most terrifying of thoughts. Especially
And that's
depending on
why-
what she has, especially depending on the north level spells. I mean, that's not even assuming that she can just cast 9th level spells. I mean, I can cast 4th level spells, but that does not mean that I am a 1-star mage. I mean, I must show, like, to become a Gold Star mage is no joke, lass. This is why I'm so afraid. I mean, you're talking about the Speaker of Tiamat. I believe the Gold Star Mage will be able to handle the Speaker of Tiamat with, I mean, it's a little bit of a backup of assistance.
I would throw out there that this was part of what was supposed to be. It was being hidden as an inspection of the snoozing watch. Anyways, go ahead and make your report. And she's gonna say into Porcelain's head, I kind of feel like I should tell them I'm a spy, but I don't know how Galrok would react.
He's from a different country. I don't think it would go well.
Not right now.
No.
Yeah, okay. Damn.
Out of
This is
curiosity,
fucking
when was the last time that you saw these people towards the snooze and watch?
The last time I
It was
saw
at least
them,
a fortnight, wasn't it?
it was before we left Rubel, so about a week ago.
No.
Oh, so 10
it had
day?
to have been longer than that.
A 10-day?
It's been longer. It's at this point, since you've left Rubel, has been 15 days, I think.
Oh man, yeah, we did do fast traveling through that beginning swamp. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been a week since you left Rubel, and I think it was 4 days between the snoozing watch and Rubel. So it would be 14 days actually.
Okay.
14?
So, yep.
Yep.
Week and a half, just about. So yeah, about 14 days ago. Last time I was in contact with them was a couple days ago.
So, do we already know a way out of here?
No.
No.
Okay.
Not unless you have control of water, and she looks at Galrok.
Unfortunately, that is not a spell that I know. And if you don't mind me, I'm going to be sending off this report right now. I mean, they're saying that there's a civil war, but there could be potentially an early strike.
No, you didn't hear it from us.
I'm not saying what I heard it from.
You still have a knighthood, I remind her.
What does that mean?
You got
I don't know, Shako,
involved.
do you see a pen on me? You don't see no pen on me. That's why she went, I went, I realized, like, he is reporting to another nation. Probably shouldn't have said that.
So I'm going to use my sending spell, and I'm going to send it to Lundra.
I ask that you leave out this Tiamat bit with me and the killing of the first crown prince, for the crown.
And I'm also going to send it to Slumperd so that way he has it in his own notes.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sure this won't cause mass panic.
I mean, in these situations where there's a gold star mobilized within the warfront, this is most definitely a time for panic.
Okay.
Like I'm saying, depending on what knowledge that this gold star has possible within her or within him, is no joke. I mean, entire nations have been fallen before one gold star mage.
Yes,
There is no higher rank than a gold star mage, lass.
I am fully aware.
Are you, lass? Are you fully aware of the possibilities that a gold star mage is able to unleash upon the world?
Hey, Porcelain, what star was your mother again?
I look down at you like you need to stop
she's looking at
talking
her-
immediately.
She's looking in her own little book, writing as well. She's not even looking up at you. She just wanted him to stop freaking out for a second.
I mean, unless she's been anything higher than a bronze star mage, that's quite then I don't think that she totally understands the power.
Right, I've had enough of this, and I like step out of the fucking dome.
All right, then you do truly understand the powers of a gold star mage, or at least the capabilities that a gold star mage has.
Yes,
go
we
sit
all
down by
understand it,
Cozen.
Galrok. We understand how magic works, Galrok.
Do you
Literally
understand how
everyone in
magic
this
works?
pen-
I mean, you're not even a magic caster.
And yet I'm a ritual caster. I can cast magics. I'm sorry that I'm not as quick as you at that, but let's figure this out. Everyone in here uses magic items. Now you need to calm down and breathe. You are literally freaking out and giving us all anxiety. Do your report. If you've already done that, then wake up Chodi and use this energy on him.
I mean, what's the point of waking up Chodi when I can't even detect his thoughts yet?
Beat it out of him.
What
You're
do we
so
want?
right.
Look at me. Do you think that I could even? Do you think I could beat
Yes.
the shit out of anything?
He is a tied-up horseman. Yes, I have full capabilities that you have extremities. You have a hand there. Can you curl it up? Make a fist out of it?
I mean, I could slap the shit out of him, but I don't think that I could physically hurt him if I tried to like punch him or anything. like
I'm gonna slap him awake.
Make a strength check.
How long until this message responds to me?
Very quickly after you send it.
Very quickly. All right. So first things first. Does the centaur wake up?
With a 13, it's gonna you slap him, and he does kind of make a noise, and he's definitely still alive, but he is still unconscious.
Knocked him out good.
Perhaps before we wake him up, I have some information returned from a message that I sent.
Before you tell me that, can you tell me why I should care?
I mean, do you want to know about the civil war within your country?
I look at Ezra.
That thing. Hold on. That thing I just called. Hold on. You got to report back. Is our country in civil war?
Yes, there's definitely a civil war going on now. Is that important enough to you to interrupt the slappings of the centaur that we have in captivity?
I look at
Yes,
Ezra.
it is because I fucking called it.
Yeah, so apparently some prince attacked some bastion in the south. It was reinforced and the unit was destroyed. And tomorrow we decide whether or not we as a country of Vitali intervene or not to assist within the civil war.
What bastion was attacked?
I don't know. I just know that some bastion in the south was attacked and it was reinforced and the entire unit was destroyed. I mean, your group has sending stones. You know how the sending spell works,
As
yes?
like drops her book and just is like halfway written. You just see like we arrived in swamp, traveled to Silver Blossom Clan with Hephe, and it just like is dropped, and she just kind of holds her hand. The bastion was attacked and the units were destroyed.
A bastion in the south. I mean, depending on where the sleeping watches is that in the south?
No, not necessarily the south. I mean, it is southern. It is part of the southern lands areas, but it's not necessarily what that means.
Well, then perhaps the people that you know are still alive.
Do you think it's the snoozing watch or Ruble?
If the prince attacked, I think it's the snoozing watch, because I think that the Marquis probably tried to... My thought process right now, full disclosure Decorm, is that the Marquis tried to impose on the snoozing watch, and the prince didn't take kindly to that, and that the war has begun. Either that, or they attacked that army that we saw has fortified at the snoozing watch and tried to attack Rubel, and once again the prince came to attack.
Did any innocent die?
Did any innocents die? I don't know. I mean, just know that the entire bastion was destroyed.
Well,
The entire bastion. Oh my
can you
God.
ask?
Can I ask what?
Do your sending spell.
I mean, I don't have any more 3rd level spells. I mean, I could upcast it into a 4th level spell, but that wouldn't give it any extra powers, and then I wouldn't have any 4th level spells.
Maybe more
I'd be more than
after
happy
you've had
to
a rest.
I'd be more than happy to answer these questions tomorrow, but I don't feel quite comfortable to getting rid of my 4th level spell lad.
But what are we going to do now?
I have no idea. I mean,
Does anybody have any idea?
I would prefer that we don't wake up the centaur lad until we
have
are
no
ready
idea.
to interrogate it.
Okay, Decorum. First of all, I can hear it in your voice. Please remain calm. second I can let me finish my report and send it off, and I might get something back.
What report are you
And
sending off, lass?
I just told you I have the 3-star mage is my superior officer, and she pulls out that bag that you guys saw her get at the inn back in Rubel. I'm supposed to report back to him today about what I find here in the swamps and how to stop the fire spirits from destroying the world.
I mean,
that was
perhaps
my
that you
mission.
should leave out that the fact that there's a dwarf working for the Vitali Kingdom and that they may or may not interfere. Perhaps that might be information that you don't want to involve.
Yeah, you think I didn't realize that you were about to send it off to a military? Like, I thought you were a part of a college, not a part of a fucking...
I am part of the college, but, I mean, we have military might, and, I mean, I didn't know whether or not we're going to be included in the military action, but we do work for draconic sorcerers, and they rule our kingdom.
And that is something I now know. And she smiles at you with a very cheeky smile.
Perhaps you leave that out to the report. I mean, just because that we get involved does not mean it'll be for your side of the Civil War.
You're not wrong, and you left out the bit about you hearing it from us, so don't worry, I'm not going to mention you. You also left out the bit about the Tiamat thing, so thank you. So,
I mean, I did include in a previous sending message that that Tiamat was involved in what I was finding out down here, but that does not necessarily mean 1 and 1 makes 2. I thought I might. When I did that, I thought I might die. So it's literally important that I send out that information. And this used to be Dwarven country.
I'm just trying to understand, why did we spend the most of an hour talking about this while we're locked in a cave? Let's prioritize for a minute. How do we get out of here?
That's a new message?
That is not...
Yeah, you get another message.
Okay.
Decorm,
one clarification
right now,
I'm quickly typing out.
Decorm, my priority right now is to get this message sent while we can still do this in the barrier. I get you want to figure out how to get out of here, but that may not be priority. There may... If there's a way to teleport back here and...
I have
Go
new
ahead,
information
Galrok.
for you. Apparently the attacking unit was destroyed. The Bastion had some powerful mages, and the Prince sent multiple units in Gavir di Ramprin Vurternok. And apparently the Gavir di Ramprin Vurternok is the Order of Crimson and Scales. Which appears to be the order that your Paladin bees from. So it seems to be that the nation has won, not the dissenters.
Okay, so Civil War started, the first big battle, the nation won, not the dissenters. The dissenters were the Order of the Crimson Scales, or they were the ones that were the protectors? My apologies.
Do I gain?
So from the message, just to make sure, because this is gonna otherwise be like miscommunication after miscommunication.
Yeah.
A prince sent the Order of Crimson and Scales to attack a bastion in the south. The first unit that attacked was completely destroyed, but that's like there are still multiple units coming, as it were.
Bastion...
I relay that information. Perhaps if there's any questions that you'd like me to ask, I could ask them now in my response towards them. They cast a sending spell back to me, so that way I can communicate back.
I'm gonna play with it again.
You have to be very fast to react still.
If you have anything to say, now's the time. Be quick about it.
I have got nothing. I need to finish my report. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. What about you, Order of Crimson Scales, lad? Is there anything that you'd like me to ask in this very short amount of time that I have to respond to this message?
Pretty sure he's still... So, yeah. Fund how you will, I suppose. Thanks for the concern.
Alright, okay, let me start typing this out.
Okay. And as you do, I suggest we go on break.
Okay. I will... I haven't had... That's what's been going on here. I haven't had music at all this whole goddamn time. There's no sound. Well, let's go to table.
So, back in 20 minutes? quarter past?
So the plot has been hitting the fan. Countries are at war.
I want you to know, last night, me and Bapple were listening to episodes 15 and 16, and we were looking at each other like, holy shit, did we just, like, actively ignore all of the plot Slump was setting up for us?
Yes. Absolutely.
Hephe had a big problem, and it needs to be solved.
And then Hephe died.
Yeah.
To verify
That's
this, in real life, I think in 2020 we walked the dogs and he said, there's a lot of things going on, but I can't tell you guys about it because you have no way of learning about it. So this has been a couple of months in the making.
So Slumperd's just been dying internally, saying, I wish my players would pay attention to the goddamn plot hooks. And then there's just the players like, hey, look at this other thing going on. That's pretty.
I mean, it has been like also a little bit cathartic in the form of like the more you ignore it, the bigger I can make it explode, as it were.
Hey, I like big explosions, but I don't know fireball.
I'm going to make you suffer for ignoring this.
No, it's just the more you ignore it, the longer the war's been going on. Okay, so the reason that Asri's like I said, freaking out a little bit, it's like from her understanding about this, it sounds like the Bastion, what's it called, tried basically mobilizing against the Scales, the Order of Crimson Scales, and taking over and usurping the nation or something like that. Or that's what they're trying to do. And Asri's just like, those are the people I wanted to join. Fuck.
You better join the losing side, scrub.
Yeah?
Decorm warned you.
Tried to join him, have not joined them
Decorm
yet.
also would like join that other side because, you know, he doesn't like the Crimson Scales, question mark?
No. He wants to put his own independent.
Go ahead.
This entire thing is the reason why he thought, you know what, I'm gonna help Hephe. Because that makes sense, and that's a good use of time, instead of this.
And
Yeah,
then
I feel like
Hephe died.
Yeah.
Don't get him twisted. Decorm is anti the people that did this to him and anti the government and stuff, but it's not just because it's his government that screwed him over. He's just anti all organized government that abuses the people.
Slumperd, that message you
I
sent me is a
asked
new
with a question mark?
spell?
Yeah, that's a new spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, alright.
That's what the last part is about. Like, this is the last message I can send today.
Gotcha.
Except he's the government.
No, I feel like
Then
a lot of the
you
players,
bet.
by helping out Hephe, were avoiding their own problems.
Why,
Yeah.
why confront your own problems when you can help a friend confront theirs? And you know what?
Escapism
I
at its
can
finest.
fucking relate.
As the person that he has honestly helped many times, it's true.
Do it. I'll.
So we're back. Is the campaign running again?
Yeah,
in stream?
we've somehow started again
Yeah.
somewhere in between here.
Okay.
I mean, when you said you were back we are officially back, I said, you're right, I'm going.
Okay.
I guess I might have been still muted or something, I'm sorry.
I'm just making sure so that we were all aware.
Yeah.
No, yeah, now that I think of it, I feel like everyone was doing that. Damn, I thought just Fluke was at first, but fuck.
Doing what?
Like, I don't know all porcelain shit, but I don't doubt she was avoiding problems.
All right, everyone. I have
Decorm, there's Ezra.
Let me know when we're ready to start.
We're ready, let's go.
All right, everyone. I have a new message. Apparently,
that?
there was no rebellion. The Apprentice attacked their own. South of Lavasti exploded with no clear winner went. Our country's against the attack, but I can't get any new messages today. So if there's any new messages that you want me to send, this is the last time that I'm going to be able to send it for today.
Wait, say that last bit again. You said who's under attack now?
There was no rebellion. The princes attacked their own. The prince attacked their own, and the south of Lavasti exploded. There's no clear winner yet, so I guess it means that it's either going to be the nationalist or the rebellion. We don't know yet.
Oh.
I mean, it was the snoozing watch.
I don't know. I don't know any names.
She's gonna say in Decorum's head. I don't mean to. Maybe I do mean to, but should we maybe take the speaker up on his offer?
If you want me to respond with any kind of information, now would be the time, lads and lasses. Quickly, rapidamente.
I'm good.
I'm good.
It was to Galrok.
Oh no, I said that out loud too because he said lads and lassies, so I just assume he's looking across the whole room at everybody.
Anyone, Porcelain, Fluke, is there anything that you'd like me to include in any kind of information that I can send out?
I'm fine.
I mean, I'm concerned about the place, my organization, but they can take care of themselves, probably.
Alright, then I'll just send my own information, probably, please and thank yous.
Alrighty. Well, he he does that. Oh, I'm on the wrong scene. I just not realized that. Whoops.
Hmm?
I'm on my
you're
old
the
scene. As I
previous
saw
scene,
level 7. Yeah, I saw level 7. I'm like, wait a minute.
I still love the thing animation, the separate what's it called? Transition.
The stinger? Yeah. But yeah, Asri not getting a response necessarily from Decorum, I don't think. She's going to look to go into Porcelain's head a little bit and say, I think I should accept the offer from the speaker of Tiamat.
Pray tell.
Oh, give me.
Oh, never mind. Hold on. If he was just needing a moment to think of what to say, then I'd like to give Decorum the chance, because Asri did to say something to him first.
Alright.
You want to kill the prince?
I think it would make one of the sides of war very evident and end it quicker. In wars like this, the common folk very rarely win.
Indeed. But somebody else will take its place. I'm just not ready to deal with this right now. It hasn't even been a day since Hephe died.
You're not wrong. Vote dependent? I just read your thing. I don't know what Hephe would want to do, but I know he probably wouldn't say kill any prince.
But he'd be open to the idea.
Would he?
I was gonna say, I don't know if that's true.
If one was clearly evil, Hephe would definitely be interested in the thing that defends the most life.
I appreciate that.
To weigh in as Hefe's spirit.
I'll be honest with you.
Leads to peace.
I think part of me just wants to get a plan of action and get the hell out of here, but I don't want to leave here without a plan of action, because we can't free Hefe's soul if it's...
I want to free Hefe's soul and I want to get out of here. Once we do that, I can focus on negotiating some diplomacy, some peace. Fight the good fight. Fuck my old friends.
If I made a way in upon your conversations about your deceased friend.
This is in their head.
This is in their head.
Never mind then.
Ultimately private conversation.
Detect thoughts, bitches.
I don't have that prepared yet.
Wait, can detect thought hear this?
I'd say
I mean,
so.
I would say so, yeah. You're thinking
Well,
about what you're saying.
Hold on, can detect thought also work on sending?
That'd be more difficult. Unless someone is busy sending the message, you'd be able to listen to that, but not to like.
Okay, that's specifically.
Well.
You know that. Yeah, no, go ahead, Decorm.
Magic time. Remember that fawn thing?
The fawn thing?
The thing. that gave us the coin in the inn.
Oh yes, yes, the Feywild's coin. What was her name? I know I threw coins at her and you all made fun of me for it. She'll pull out the Feywild's coin.
Do that.
You're right, I
did.
Did she say? I think she said time was a little bit wibbly wobbly. Like time didn't matter for the
time was different
Olympics.
there, yes.
Maybe we can go there and at least give us enough time to think of a solution. Maybe even go back in time. Is that possible? That sounds weird.
Yeah, Azri's like everyone sees her pull out the coin and like as she's like looking at it and looking like kind of at Decorm, and then she like makes a scrunched up face like, huh?
It appears that you've been thinking of that coin lass. What exactly are you thinking of?
Galrok, please give me a minute.
Alright, you have a minute. Let me know when you want me to weigh a pin upon your conversations that you're having upon your heads.
I will.
Thank
Trust
you.
me, when I want you to talk, I'll talk to you.
What, is that how this works now? I understand that your country is at war and this is a very serious conversations that you're having. No need to be rude.
I'm gonna look Ezra in the eye.
You were about to say something though, Decorum, before the out loudness happened.
The coin might solve one of our issues. I still have no idea how we're gonna save Hefe's soul. And
wait,
as good friends, we should consider. Sorry, Ezra.
The winning the Olympics. You get a wish. We could wish Hefe's soul out of here. If that's not within the power of the goddamn highest courts of the Feywilds, I don't know what is.
I'm gonna just completely out of nowhere pick Ezra up and give her a big hug and twirl her around and put her up and say, "That's a great idea."
Out loud, I assume, and she's like, "Okay, guys,
Yeah.
we may have a possible solution."
And what would that solution be, lass?
This coin will get us a representative to the Feywilds Olympics, where we can compete, and if we win, we each get a wish. One of us can easily...
Every single one of us gets a wish, or just as a group?
Oh... Babe, we listened to it last night. Do you remember how it worked?
Porcelain is going to pipe up hearing this. Just sit now. Hang on a moment. I don't recall it being wishes they grant. I recall it being items they give, and riches.
I could have sworn that she said wish, specifically the word. Like I thought I'm thinking of the 9th level spell magic. You know, if that's not within the most powerful mortal magic, I don't know.
She did mention magical capabilities being like boons and such being blessed upon you. I suppose a wish could be in that list at the top tier, but
from how I remember at least, it's the winner gets a wish, but she also said like in the in-between there are other rewards you can get as well.
Ah, the winner. So that means like the winner of the entire championship.
The winner of the entire thing gets 1 wish per surviving team member.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yes.
yeah. So Azri does have this right. So yeah, we can do it. No, it's 1 wish per surviving member. Now, yes, I understand that that's a little rough to speak about, and that we're talking about Olympics within the Feywilds, but I would gladly go through this and sacrifice my wish to get Hefe's soul out of here.
Me too.
And then that would give you guys like all the other wishes.
We could wish for even more than that. We could wish for all of the souls in here to be, or even just the effect keeping them to be null.
We could wish for the Civil War to end.
Exactly. There's a lot of good we could possibly do with this.
No, we must
I
always
mean, I
be
could wish
careful
for all the magics in the entire world. I'm interested, yes.
Galrok.
Better yet, you could forget. You could wish for lore and knowledge that has not seen the mortal coil in millennia.
No. Now let's slow down just a moment here. If I recall at all, she did mention something, asking you a question on if you can survive or
Fighting a Hydra. Yes.
A Hydra.
Yes, with an entire group.
God, can we for once
Please, God.
not overthink
Well,
something? Please.
I mean, perhaps we should overthink
I'm begging
everything.
you
I mean,
guys.
we're dealing with items that could, you know, if we
I'm
survive.
gonna land on my knees and I'm gonna just back Ezra on her knees.
I mean, listen, Decorum. I much appreciate you, lad, but I mean, to not think through something would be truly folly. I mean, we don't need to be grasping at straws, you know what I mean?
He goes down and begs on his knees, can we not overthink this? And you're like, no, I like you, lad, but no, we're gonna have to overthink this.
That is exactly Galrok's fucking opinion on that one. Yes, we should overthink this.
I'm gonna stand up and just look at the sky and... Sorry, Fluke. I'm...
No, I was just
Guys,
mostly
I figured
thinking...
it out. I died.
What
This is hell.
What do you think?
I figured it out. That's why all the MSG are here. That's why this guy is here. I died.
Luke.
It wasn't only Hephe.
Luke, what's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are, for one, I mean, Hydra's is scary, but we kind of have a freaking voice of Tiamat in our basement right now. So, Feywild vacation with minimal time issues sounds rather good. If nothing else, we could get a bit more experience and maybe get some items to help us kill that bastard down there.
I mean, is this exactly a vacation, or is this more of a competition of sorts that if we happen to survive?
That we happen to survive. However, I want to throw
Galrok and just like look at me and I just like, with the day we have, a competition is a vacation.
I mean, I understand where they're coming from, lad, but that does not mean that it's a vacation for me.
Galrok, I can make this really simple for you.
Seems to be working out for me and my people.
Galrok, let me ask you a very, very simple question.
What is the question?
You have a choice here.
I have a choice?
We're going to either go to the Feywilds, or we're going to fight the Speaker of Tiamat. Your decision is the final vote. What are we going?
I mean, I vote that we don't vote. I vote that we don't vote for either of those two choices.
Sounds like I'm cracking this coin, getting that speaker here, and she's taking us to the Feywilds then.
If that's the way that you interpret it, maybe, perhaps, but I'm not. I am just saying that perhaps I should read these books and figure out more about what's going on with the fire spirits.
I mean,
is that not what your friend Hephe would want? Is that not what your friend Hephe would want, to understand what's going on with these fire spirits and the people that are poisoning his so-called gods?
You're not wrong. Take the books with you. You'll need off time in between the competitions. It's an Olympics.
Nobody said that the books would come with us.
The speaker comes here and takes us to there. So, like, you bring the books with you. Pack them in your bag.
I mean, that is your assumption of cracking the book. I mean, perhaps it is just us that go. You do not know. The Fae are trixies indeed.
You're correct. Here's what I'm telling you.
They're like the Gelflings.
I'm going to crack
this cannot be trusted.
Oh my god.
I'm going to crack this coin at some point. You can argue for how long it's going to be, so you can go read some books. Hell, even to get some information out of Chodi. But we are going to do this. And she looks to Decorm and says, "Do not worry, Decorm. This is the plan."
I understand that you guys wish to do this, but perhaps we should wait a day or two before we make this drastic decision to go enter our lives into a competition that we may or may not survive upon the worlds of the Feywilds. If I know nothing about the Feywilds, that is not to be trusted.
Well, that's the thing. What do you know about the Feywilds? You ever been there?
Have I ever been to the Feywilds?
Yes.
I don't think I have.
No, you
okay, cool. So you don't know much. Everything's
part of your backstory, if you had.
Yeah, no, I have not been part of the Feywilds, but I've studied them in my histories.
I will say, most of what he's saying, I'm not in full agreement with. A full rest may be a good idea. We don't exactly know what we'll be walking headfirst into.
I would appreciate that. I'm currently out of some of my most highest level spells.
Sounds like we will relax for the rest of the day. If Chodi wakes up, maybe beat him up for a little information. That way me and Decorm can de-stress just a little bit. Or maybe we don't because it turns out we shouldn't. I don't know. We have to wait for him to wake up. Get a nice long rest and start tomorrow morning off with a nice jaunt into the Feywilds. Sound good to everybody?
Well, now there is one small thing.
Thank you, the voice of reason.
No! Please!
Do we recall how this time dilation works? Do we know how long? Usually I wouldn't care if it's going to be a couple of... Usually I wouldn't care if it's going to be a few days, but... Luke's just going to just gesture to Kosif, who's just listening to us ramble.
Kozim, can I make an Arcana check to understand the time difference between our realms?
Well, listen, she told us that...
an Arcane check if you want to.
Arcana check.
She
I would
mentioned
love
that we
to.
could be gone and back within a short amount of time in completing the whole thing. So I assume that the more time will progress there than here.
I hate
but that
these
could also
low
be magic.
goddamn rolls.
Plus 10 to Arcana.
Can I,
So you're
since
not getting
I'm
double digits on the die.
Fey Descent? No, one thing or two I would hope about the Feywilds.
For you, I'd say with disadvantage.
Alright, that's fair. Arcana or History?
Arcana.
Ah, fuck. Alright.
Oh, actually, you could also do history, I think.
Oh, fuck yes! Didn't matter.
Oh, the disadvantage.
So with the 9 for the history, you have, in your youth, kind of like looked up stories about the Feywild, being interested in that, and it seems to be that it's just random, depending on what's convenient for the writer of the story as well. For you, Galrok, with the 16, you know that it is kind of like random, though most wizards don't like the idea that it's random, so they say something like it's dependent on how certain magical effects interlope at the exact moment that you step between the realms.
There's too many variables to calculate.
What does that mean?
There's too many variables to calculate.
Exactly. So, but what you do also know with the 16 is that for like mortals to step in between is incredibly difficult. For at least some of the Fae that live in the Feywilds, they seem to have more control over it, and kind of if they are the ones sending you back or forth, can just kind of decide for you how long has passed on the other side as well.
I'm going to be honest with you all. From the way that I understand the Feywilds, is that it's entirely up to the tricksy Fae that decide whether or not how much time has passed. I mean, it could be no time, or it could be, centuries entirely. We could come back and be an entirely different world. So just because you want to go there and do this thing that's going to may or may not save us, depending if we survive, it may be an entirely different world that we come back to.
Unless
Luke
we
is a
put them
very
in a...
charming guy. He can figure that out.
Very charming guy. Sounds like we should not trust him. Yes, Porcelain.
Perhaps then we should consider earning the favor of whoever's transporting us.
Galrok, I understand why you're concerned. You don't have to come with us.
However, it would be such a educational jaunt, wouldn't you say, being in the Feywilds?
I mean, the Feywilds are full of spirits. I mean, they might know more about what's going on upon our mortal coil than we may be able to discern on our own.
Exactly! Imagine
and
the possibility.
This will be a great mystery indeed, but perhaps before we start upon a new mystery, we should finish the mystery that we currently have involved, and I should read all these books and truly understand what's going on.
Yep, that's what we're
Then
doing.
you should get to that. Then you should get to that and stop arguing with us, because we've already agreed we're going to go tomorrow morning.
I mean, we have not agreed upon that. You and Decorm have agreed.
You're misunderstanding. We, and she gestures to her, Porcelain, Fluke, and Decorum.
Can I try to crack the coin?
Porcelain, Fluke, have you agreed upon this course of action?
I mean...
Can I try to crack the coin?
I will say I want to make sure that Kozum is taken care of before we do any leaving, and that our hostage is properly secured.
Who knows if we may return in a century or two.
I'm significantly less concerned about that aspect, and more concerned about... well, Kozum.
So you were concerned about Kozum? I mean, who knows? If we return in a century or two, Kozum may be dead.
So, how about this? Why don't you and Teak go to the library, study more books? We will figure out the best course of action to assist Kozum.
I mean, I like books. That is an understatement, of course. I mean, Teak, do you like books?
Yes, I love learning. Let's go.
Alright, then perhaps we should study these books more before we make any decisions about whether or not we are going to go in the morning or not. I mean, I'm not opposed to going entirely, but like perhaps the amount of time is a totally different story.
Have fun reading.
It's if you want to try, it's sleight of hand checks for the both of you. But I'm also kind of going to ask you not to, because otherwise the party's very likely to get split. And like split as in half of you will be in the Feywilds and the other half will be here.
Well, don't you know to never split the party? The question is, do we need to sleight of hand check?
No.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry that normally I'd allow it, but in this case it's a bit.
As DM, I'm going to have to ask you to not.
As DM, please no.
But yeah,
the crack little Feywild character. Just let know.
But
as
soon as
silence.
Teak, as soon as they're upstairs, she's just gonna look at Decorm and just.
I really liked that guy more yesterday when he didn't talk.
I didn't.
I didn't necessarily hate him then. I just didn't want him to get in our way. But dear Lord, I think him trying to protect Chodi was less aggravating than this.
If I ever was as annoying as this guy, I wholesomely apologize.
I'd like to play a bit of a devil's advocate here to remind ourselves
Please don't! Okay, sorry. I have it out of my system now.
Let us remind ourselves, he had nothing to do with any of this. We're asking a lot.
I'm not. I'm asking he can go and do whatever he wants. Hell, Teak can join him if she wants.
We're going to need 6, do you recall? We need 6 members on our team.
And we can get a couple randos.
There wasn't guaranteed there'd be anyone who'd be willing.
I'm sure Decorm and I can be very persuasive.
I feel a lot persuasiver than I was yesterday.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy or anything. I'm just saying it was very frustrating that he kept talking in a loop and he kept... Honestly, first of all, he continues to freak out about everything. He's a giant coward. It's honestly just getting annoying. First the Speaker of Tiamat, then the Gold Mage.
It's been an upsetting 48 hours for him, I'm sure. He was once upon a time across the continent studying rocks, I think.
I understand that. You're right. He was studying rocks. He's not exactly a warrior.
I mean, I fully understand being cautious. That's how I was taught to be. But yeah, yes, he goes about it in an annoying way. But
I put my hand on Azri's shoulder and I say, "You know my rage. You know my issues. You know how long I've worked on them. I'm being patient. Can you be patient with me?"
I have not had the patience you have, but I will try. I will continue to try. But I'm going to be honest with you. She holds up the coin. Going tomorrow. Everyone who was all aboard the Feywild train better be there.
And what are we going to do about
it? Again, don't get me wrong. I was just pondering how... What?
I was wondering if we could take Kozum with us.
He couldn't
have him as a spectator.
I was pondering if he could be a spectator. That's something we can ask. As a spectator. The question also becomes, do we take Chodi as a spectator? That seems...
I'd really prefer to go home. I'm not sure. Talking about going to the Feywild suddenly? I mean, I heard a lot about being Hephe back. Didn't really understand it. I appreciate that, but... I don't
here's the
think
thing.
the Feywild's a good place for me.
We all want a lot of things. You're a centaur, you'll be better at place than any of us. We are trying a wild thing to get your son's soul back. The least thing you could do for us is join with us and be a cheerleader.
Hold on.
Okay, I don't know necessarily about that much Decorum. But the least he could do is maybe survive. And we can get him maybe upstairs first. Find a way to get him past, maybe cast some water walk. See if we can distract the sharks at one end. Get him up the stairs. Bingo, bango, bongo. We Feywildo.
I really don't want to be sassy about it, but you think the cave is a better place to be than Feywild?
Maybe.
No.
Or do you want to send them to our good friend, the Speaker of Tiamat, and ask, do you want to take care of our friend? Or the right
I
Naka?
know, you know. No, not the what?
He was
now?
nice. Let's do that. Let's bring him to the lion person.
The demon cat?
Oh yeah, shit. Forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah, speaking of which, did you forget about the point where I mentioned sounds coming from down there? Think we might have pissed people off by killing those Abashi.
Probably, but they haven't attacked us yet, and my dome's still up. So, like, anyone can just run into the dome real quick, and we can regroup. Unless they have some sort of magic cancel.
Definitely, I just don't want him to be dead. I don't want anyone to be dead while we're gone. I don't even want him to be dead while we're gone. He says, pointing to the unconscious Chodi.
Precisely what I'm saying is, yes, is potentially he could be a spectator, come with us to the Feywilds, but do you have a backup if that's not a possibility? He, no offense, I say to Kozin, was nearly obliterated by Chodi.
This is true.
I mean, I don't know if we could just leave him with food with Chodi in that room.
No, we absolutely cannot.
Absolutely not. Okay, so then, assuming you, and she kind of gestures to Gorm, that you're okay with it then being an extra day, we do in fact leave the caves and get him back to his people, and we do the Feywilds things. No?
No, unless I am mistaken, there's one path through mud, which just means suffocation. No, I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm fine. I'm gonna play with a cat.
I mean,
Wait, no.
You people seem strong. I think you can just take the route that Chodi and our group took before.
That's right, you came in through a different route.
You weren't blindfolded doing that.
I was, but he wasn't, and it points to Chodi.
As you see an evil smile creep across her
relatively
face.
safe. Like, I think we got attacked once or twice.
Yeah, yeah. Asri pulls out a dagger, and she starts pressing it into the front left hoof of Chodi. Wake up!
Oh, calm down with the torturing. I mean, good.
Not torturing. Okay, we tried slapping him. That didn't work. I'm going for the part that has the least amount of nerves in his body. I think, right? It's like the toenail. I'm just trying to
That's right. You're doing great. You're doing great.
If you want me to torture him, I can easily go for his fingernails and start ripping one off. But I don't want to actually hurt him. I want to wake him up.
You see Porcelain, because she had her arms crossed, and one of the hands that was on top kind of closes and goes tucks underneath her armpit a second.
Listen, I get it. We could torture him. I'm trying not to. What I'm trying to do is wake him up.
I'll say make an intimidation
now wake up!
check. It's just because that seems most relevant in this scenario.
Oh, I was hoping for a dagger or something, but intimidation, okay.
You can make it with advantage, because I'm going
take
on lower
it.
stats suddenly.
Not a horrible roll.
Not the worst roll.
The 14 and Decorm's previous attempts. It takes a little bit, but suddenly he pulls his hoof back and he kind of wakes up and wait, what? What happened? Where?
There you are.
Oh, I was sure you were gonna kill me. You seem mighty upset.
You can thank Miss Porcelain for reminding us that Hephe would not have wanted us to kill you. And she smiles at him she's creepily close to his face.
Thanks.
Oh, don't thank me yet.
I hear you know a safe route out of these caves. Guess what you're going to do?
Show you it?
Congratulations.
You wanted here? Because that...
Oh, no.
Would have shown you that at any moment.
No. What I want and what we're settling for are two very different things. We're going to take you back to the Silver Blossom clan. We're going to inform them that you've been a traitor in their midst this whole time, and you're going to explain to them the poisoning your grandfather and your parents did. Because luckily enough for you, I remember that we had met a fire djinn who informed us that was a thing that was happening and possible. And that fire spirits were being also taken and made evil by losing their bodies and all that jazz. So luckily enough for you, after I calmed down a little bit, I remember that your story unfortunately lines up with the captured fire spirit that Hephe freed.
Hephe Oh. Interesting. Alright. So we're going now, or?
I look to up the stairs. In a couple of hours, we'll head out. But we have some friends who are researching your books who, not to be insultive, but I'm going to be insultive, are probably a lot smarter than you.
He kind of just, like, his head still hurting.
Ooda.
Kind of just, how do you say, goes limp for a bit.
How were you doing it? Poisoning. Full of health.
Well, I'm not doing much. My grandpa told me, like, it was mighty complicated, but it comes down to they put like a little piece of pool of health in like this crystal thing, and then it kind of slowly gets absorbed into it, and something else comes back instead.
What is the
Asri
crystal?
like smacks her face like the fire spirits.
What do you know about the crystal over the lake?
It's one of them, but that's not the one we used.
But it does the same thing.
Well, yeah. It's similar. I think they're connected. I don't know much about how it exactly works, but I think they are like not, how do you say it, like they're the same, like roots to a tree, as it were.
Who is in the clan that's been slowly poisoning? Besides your parents, has it just been them?
Well, and them and the group that I came here with, but most of them are gone.
Who remains?
Let me quickly look up names.
The memory. Only their memory remains.
Oh, that's wrong. Maybe I don't have their names prepared, but they all went further in. We had a bit of a falling out. So they've gone and want to make a new clan because they didn't think I was leading correctly.
And when was this?
When we were waiting for Hephe, they wanted to force him to do the thing. But I want to talk with him, because I still think that I could have convinced him.
Convinced him to do what exactly? You say you perform this ritual. What does that entail?
Well, so Hephe is the only one who can, like, save the Flame of Revival. And because of the whole thing, I can save Pool of Health. So the thing was, we're going to do both, and then both our gods are free, and Hephe can see Flame of Revival and understand that it's not so bad.
Why not just cure
By the
Pool of
way,
Health now?
Sorry, what's the...
Then why not just cure Pool of Health now?
Because ritual, like, kills you.
So you are going to kill Hephe?
No.
I'm sorry, the ritual is going to kill Hephe.
Yes, and then because that's why we moved here, sometimes these spirits like hop back and forth between well, they don't really hop back and forth, but sometimes they can get out. So I thought, Hephe and me together, when we're in there, we can get out together.
How do the spirits get out, Chodi?
I don't know. I wasn't gonna find it out when I was there. If you have
As it
noticed,
just kinda
spirits
rubs
aren't
their
very
temples.
talkative.
So you
They-
mean to say
I'd
you were
have-
going to risk your life and Hefe's for a plan that you didn't have?
Well, the plan was to save both our gods.
Surviving it was the thing they didn't have planned out.
Yeah,
I was going
Hephe
to
would
point
be
out
fine with that.
You know, the sad thing is, I think he's right about that. He probably would have been willing to enter into a murder-suicide pact to save both of their gods. Probably wouldn't even hold that much of a grudge.
Speak for yourself.
I'm not saying I would.
I'm going to glare down at Chodi, and I'm going to say, who's been doing the poisoning now? Who's responsible for it?
My grandfather, but he's long past. Like, it's a one-time thing, and after that you just wait. Like, if all the Hefes had to continuously poison Flame of Revival, it'd be long back.
So what I'm
So
saying is you could
this-
perform this ritual yourself to revive the pool of health.
I can. But then... Well, I'm like
Then
the only...
Hephe and you can try to get out together on the other side, correct?
Yes. I think.
Well, Hefe's on the other side.
He is, isn't he? But that still doesn't save Flame of Revival. And I'm also the only one who has, like, an actual ability to do that.
And that means that when you and Hephe get out on this side, you'll know how to get out again.
Yeah, but then it has to work the first time.
If
And I only need to dive a pool of health. Like, after it's Hephe who has to try and die again.
Wait. Oh, so Hephe has to die to heal your god.
Yeah,
You have to die to heal pool of health.
yeah.
Well,
If it was just me who had to die, I would have done it immediately.
Well, it's honestly, I'm going to be real with you, Chodi. It sounds like it is just you that has to die.
Well, no.
She'll just kind of smile, get up and stop being as close to his face and just kind of like walk kind of towards the edge of her dome and sit down.
What are the others? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The others you had this falling out with, what have they gone off to do?
Form their own weird clans. They went mighty weird. Like, after my father died, I got... Well, it was a bit more complicated, but... Like, when I got, like, the interim leader... Like, they all wanted me to use it to manipulate Hephe and make him... Like, weak or mentally weak, I mean. I didn't like that, so we had a couple of, like, falling outs in between the clans, so we got a lot smaller. And the ones who kept following me were more following me because they thought I had the best shot, not because they, like, agreed with me. So now they've gone, like, really weird. But they're away.
I do want to ask, who exactly cast those magics on you that you didn't like? I wanted some...
Oh,
wanted
it
to
was
get some
Hephe.
exact knowledge from them. Okay, it was a Vaughn. Okay, that makes sense.
And that's why the Abashi came to your aid.
I'm gonna look at Ezra.
By the way, just so you know, when we were talking about devils earlier, Aboshi are infernal beings, those little lizards. Didn't know, but you were kind of involved with devils. I was actually pretty spot on with that.
Asri will say into Decorm said, yes.
We're gonna kill him to save Pool of Health, right?
We need to figure out what the ritual is. We have to perform the ritual to save Pool of Health. But yeah, if that kills him, then that kills him.
We'll look at porcelain.
Yes, Decorm.
Oh wait. Sorry, confused. How does this ritual work exactly?
Well, like I have to perform it myself. And
You have to do what?
I have to perform it. Like you can't. That's why I wanted to like explain and talk with Hephe, because he has to do it himself. I can't force Hephe to do the ritual, as it were.
Why not?
Because it's a magic ritual that you perform. Like you have spells that can only like affect yourself. It's like that.
Okay.
Gotcha.
You know,
You could technically do it right now, or do it needs to be at a special place with a special item?
Oh yeah, we have like a special setup downstairs.
Do you? Is that with the speaker of Tiamat down there?
No, there's no. Well, like there's some of those weird shadow things there, and like that popped out of the window just now, or at the wall just now. And there is Avanis there, mostly. I also try to be there, but I'm not always.
And
Because it was Teak and Galrok upstairs. Asri will go ask Fluke, do you mind checking up there to see how they're doing real quick?
Yeah, I'll do a check. Well, so just want to say real quick, we should probably also not go under the assumption that this ritual is good and will do what we want it to do, mostly because folks seem to want it.
Folks want the Ravaging Flame Freed is what they want.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna go check on them.
Now another thing.
We'll slink his lizardy tail up there.
Now another thing, you two, I say to Azri and Decorum, we mustn't forget, we have to get Cozen out before anything else.
Which is why we're going to bring him up there. And I'm saying that if we have to force him to do this ritual, and she's going to say, like, because after the stammer, she's going to be in your head. She's going to say in your head, if we have to force him to do the ritual, then we have to force him to do the ritual. But if we know that he can make Pool Health better, then he can. And he will.
Chodi, we're gonna try our best to get you safely out of this cave, but if you were to perish, who would take over your place as Hephe, Silver Blossom? I still don't know how this works.
I don't understand that question.
Who would overtake your role if you died?
Like, in the Silver Blossom clan or in the Flame of Revival clan? Those
Flame of Revival.
People. Flame of Revival, that would be Andras, who is one of the people who went up north, I think.
Up north, of course. Kingdom of Esland, right?
Not that far north, I don't imagine, but he did went up that area.
Do you maybe have something to remember Andras by?
Well, downstairs there's his bed that he used to use. He has like a little locker there. Maybe there's something in there.
Great. I'm gonna look Ezra in the eye.
And you will. I don't know if she says anything, but you will feel the connection in your head.
Great. That works. We kill Chodi. And we'll come back for this Andras later. Kill Chodi, go to the Feywild, fix Andras.
So
That's a possibility. This is in our heads. So I was gonna say is that's a possibility. However, I think, and I understand if you're upset with me about this, we should bring Chodi, if we're going to have him die, to be executed at the Philip plans for the betrayals and all the lies. Let Kozum speak his truth.
Fine with me.
And with that, let's go to Galrok and Teak.
Go ahead.
You're reading, I imagine?
Yeah, continue to investigate the library of that Chodi did not point out.
Okay, I'd like you to make an investigation check with advantage, because most of this is... Oh no, it actually...
2 separate rolls?
Yeah, both Teak and you can make separate rolls, because most of these are actually written in Dwarven, and I do think Teak speaks that.
Does Teak speak Dwarven?
I'm fairly sure.
Let me
Yes,
make
yes.
sure. Yes.
Verify?
Yeah.
Alright, so then 2 separate rolls. I'll
Yeah.
roll investigation, and then Teak roll investigation. Ooh, much better.
Hey.
I naturally speak it as a dwarf.
Yeah. So Teak kind of goes around and finds this like beautifully made book, a little bit like all the pages have been like fallen out and like laid all in a weird order, so she kind of spends most of her time like trying to find all the pages back and trying to order the book again. Galrok, with you notice that most of these books seem very like general, like not even specifically like knowledge or anything. They are mostly like storybooks, all very old, and all aimed at children.
Children's storybooks in this library.
It seems like a rather small library as well.
I mean, there can be general knowledge sent to the children for like general knowledge to understand, like fairy tales and shit. I mean, it doesn't have to be like in depth, but like general life lessons.
But what I will say, like with the 26, you have the feeling like this was at some point during the Eir Empire. This was probably from some like noble family's personal library for their children, as it were.
Oh, that can be actually very valuable. Like a noble's children library. I mean, there's can be lots of good knowledge there.
And because you definitely would recognize it after, because you have keen mind, right?
I do have keen mind. Yes, I'll post it in the chat for everyone to know. Keen mind, post.
Remember stuff.
You have the keenest of mind.
It's very important because there's a reason I don't take notes. 1, my first character had a 7 intelligence. 2, my second character has keen mind.
But with your keen mind, you do recognize one specific book that Avan mentioned, which is called Stories for the Young Faithful.
I will put that book in my bag of holding.
Okay.
Bag of holding?
I'm just putting all the books in your bag of holding.
Question: Did Hephe have a bag of holding?
No.
No. Okay, I was gonna say.
I believe I am the only one that currently has a bag of holding. Unless Teak decided to do that in his like between level up times.
I don't think he did yet.
Okay.
Wait.
So I will put that in my bag of holding, which has an arcane lock on it.
I know.
You know, but for the audience and for the rest of the characters.
Especially since on our first meeting, somebody wanted to steal his book.
Yeah, fuck you, Fluke. I don't forget that. I don't know that as a character, but I know that as a player.
So after a couple of moments, probably while you're still like in the middle of like looking everything over, Fluke comes up because I think the conversation downstairs would have like relatively gone much quicker than the research upstairs.
Absolutely, yeah. Or research downstairs.
But is there anything you want to talk with Fluke, or was Fluke anything you want to talk about with you, the two of any of you two?
So Fluke came upstairs.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually why he just to check upon on you. I think.
Yep, check it
See
out.
how they're doing some.
So can Fluke make an investigation as well?
Does he know Dwarvish?
Does he know Dwarvish? Is also a question.
Hey, he does not.
In that case, no. In that case, in this instance, I'm just gonna say no.
Okay. Alright, what you need there, Fluke? I mean, we're just investigating the library that they have up here.
Just checking on you, as Ray requested me to. We did wake up Chodi, and have also made some minor decisions. Still in the process of talking, but I think the current plan is they may know a way out, so we will be taking them back to the Silver Blossom clan, and then I think most of us still want to venture into the Feywild Olympics to maybe deal with this problem before we leave this place permanently forever. I don't know.
Is that what you wish for there, Sir Fluke?
Well, I'm going to be fully honest. All this political shit is a little above my pay grade. I've wanted to try and smooth my way into politics, but usually dungeoneering is what I'm good at, and this dungeon sucks. Gonna say that.
Yes, this dungeon doesn't seem, indeed seem to suck. I mean, perhaps because I was teleported halfway across the continent, but maybe perhaps that is, determining my opinion upon this, considering that I did not have a choice in the matter.
But point being, the Feywild stuff sounds like something I can do, and it seems less risky than some of our other options, and it may allow us further options before we leave.
How would you feel? Please continue before I ask my informative question.
Well, I just... Oh, goodness, you are a treat, aren't you? Well, I simply just want to make sure that Kosum is safe, that we're not leaving a hostage to go wandering around and getting into trouble, because that's happened before. That's really my concern. I am up for a little performing for the Cookie Fae. I'm up for that.
Okay, you're up for performing for the Cookie Fae, but there are people that you wish for currently to survive and be interested in. How would you feel if all of the people that you know were to have died because centuries have passed?
Guess it depends on how they died. If they died of old age, I'd probably be a little sad. I mean, it would suck, but that's just time progressing. I can live with being tossed out through time. Especially, I mean, be a lot to process. It's probably a little easier said than done, but my mind wouldn't break over the experience, I don't think.
You don't think, but do you know? I mean, from the sounds of it, it sounds like it's totally up to the Feywilds that we determine to whether or not we come back to the same time, or centuries in the future, or centuries in... I don't think they control the past. I think they control the flow of time. So, how would you feel if we came back centuries in the future?
I would adjust.
Yes, as all things that live and do not choose to death itself. But how would you feel about
what's going on now, I will say it is a risk I'm willing to take, though I appreciate you letting me know the risks. I like knowing the risks.
That's all I can do is let you know of the risks. I mean, the Fae have not been known to be trusted. From everything that I know about the Fae is that they are purely selfish creatures that decide upon themselves what suits themselves best. And the wars and the civil wars and the politics of us mortal creatures matter very little to the Fae creatures that you would choose to give yourselves exposure to.
Well, it's good to have that at least in consideration. I'm still for some good times and some boons, but I can understand your consideration, and I believe the boons are at least helpful to make the risk a little worthwhile. I mean, I'm sure you're at least salivating at the magical possibilities, because the Faes are also well known for having an ungodly amount of magic.
Oh yes, the idea of the Fey Wild gives me much salivation, as you per se, as far as the magical possibilities. And even if I do return, I will very well become a student of the more aged, and probably will still be alive. But how would you say that to your kind of yourselves? I mean, from my understandings, most of your kind do not live more than a century. How would you feel if you came back to everyone being dead that you once knew?
I mean, wouldn't be pleased. I'd be curious to see if the organization was still... I've got friends and family, but... He's definitely looking like, oh, this...
I do not wish to pressure your opinions, but just simply things to think about. As you said, you wish to think about the ideas and the possibilities, and that is something that I can always give ye. Now, with that being said, I'm much more interested upon these books and these ideas of the flame spirits. If we return and there's an entire full-fledged war, not only do we have of the flame spirits, of course, not upon the civil war of the country that you come from. There are much more things to worry about than just a civil war of the country. There are like the entire wars of an entire continent between spirits and gods, as they say, upon the lands of which you live.
Yes, though, at least from my perspective, it's a difference of risking your ability to make a difference in the conflict versus being able to more easily make a larger difference in the conflict. There's no guarantees one way or the other, but you better your odds in the gamble you actually take, or you get that gamble taken away from you and you have to make a new deal.
I mean, honestly, the way that it seems like is that we have no way of influencing the current conflict as it exists. Only to do what we can upon the current.
Like, exactly. That's why I'm interested in going in the Feywild and seeing if we can influence it. Even if we may lose in the chance of influencing it at all.
I mean, any knowledge that we gain in the time that is lost may be worthless if they can gain the same knowledge in the same amount of time that we may be gone.
That depends. It is an unknown.
Aye, and I do not like dealing with the unknown. I mean, yes, I find any mystery worthwhile, but to simply throw ourselves away to the gamble of time is not something that I find very worthwhile.
Suppose we'll have to weigh our conflicts. We will see. Enjoy your books. I'll let them know you're not starving up here.
Can you at least give them the opportunity to wait until we can cast our Zone of Truth that Decorm can cast and detect thoughts that I can cast after a long rest? I think it's at least worth giving it a night's sleep and like at least 1 or 2 nights sleep. Please, you were saying, Flare Fluke.
I will let them know of the concerns. I think they have a lot of the information they want out of it, but we'll make plans to at least get them out of this hostile environment, and we will probably go from there.
I very much doubt that they care about the thoughts and the opinions of a newfound dwarf that they find upon their mints, but a friend's opinion, a party member's opinion, I feel like they value much more.
Well, I mean, you would definitely be invaluable in learning things in the Feywild, should that be the direction we go, which many of us want to, so...
I believe that is the opinion of you, Sir Fluke, if you will. I don't think that the very many of them care about my opinion at this point, except maybe Porcelain herself, and that's simply because she is much more open-minded than the rest of them.
Perhaps I will. I certainly don't want us at least going in half-cocked. I want our arsenal ready to go before we go jumping into the pits of hell, so to speak.
I mean, it's not the pits of hell; it's the pits of Feywild. And to be honest with you, the pits of Feywild is much more chaotic and much more less rules than the pits of hell. The pits of hell at least make their own sense of laws and morals, evil than they may be. At least they follow the same ideals. The pits of the abyss and the pits of the Feywild, those are truly terrifying because they do not follow any laws. They simply follow the whims and the ideals of whoever is in control at the current period of time. And that is what makes it truly terrifying. I'd much rather follow into the pits of hell than the pits of Feywild.
Luke's literally just going to rub the bridge of his nose. It was a turn of phrase, but thank you for the history lesson.
Aye, whatever I can do to help with the opinions.
He's going to sigh, just like, no, that is useful information, considering I'm dealing with a demon.
Listen,
oh, God.
Listen, the path to power and self-improvement is through knowledge. If you do not know knowledge, then you are truly lost in the fray.
I will at least say that's the smartest thing I've heard you say so far.
That is the smartest thing you've heard that I've said so far, then clearly you have not been listening, but I will accept it at this point in time.
Well, clearly you've not been choosing your words wisely enough.
Listen, I do not choose necessarily words wisely, but my knowledge, that is profound. Whether or not people listen to it is a different story. Now, please, if you will, continue to help me search this library. I understand that you do not know Dwarvish, but perhaps the books that appear to have more knowledge or more information of the things that you wish to provide for me to investigate.
I imagined him just looking for the biggest one.
If you want to look, you can also make an investigation check.
He'll try and look up on the high shelves. He's good at he's short like everyone else, but he's good at climbing.
It's the claws.
We just had another 20 minutes of Ralgo saying about why he doesn't want to go to the Feywilds.
That is not what happened here. But
I timed it. I was looking at the clock. You're right. Technically, it was more than 20 minutes. I rounded down for you. Oh God! I've been talking to chat. No one's there.
So I need to pay attention when the players list speak. Apparently.
I'm joking.
I know. With a 9 investigation, you go a little bit around. It isn't like. A library is maybe a big word for this. There's like 4 rows of books, as it were. So it's rather quickly skim through everything. We'll find out when I'm editing Galrok. We won't. And as you go through it, because you were going specifically over the top, right? The higher shelf books, as it were.
That's the fluke.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a question for me. Okay. You go over it and like everything's in Dwarvish and everything. Like you open a couple of them and there's like this simple drawings of like stuff in it, and they all feel like still like children's books. But you notice one book that's kind of like laying on top of the shelves, and as you pick it up, it is in common, and the title is Stories for the Young Faithful.
Huh.
A second book?
The second one. Yeah.
I
The one you have is in Dwarven.
I also put that book in my bag of holding.
I mean, Fluke has it.
And it's
Oh.
like,
Does
I
he show
found
it?
one in common.
Do you show it to the rest?
Is it in common?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
it's like-
actually, Fluke, to you maybe it would be in Draconic, if that's more natural language for you.
No, common would probably be in more natural language.
Okay, then for you
him.
it's
He is-
common.
Yeah,
you
he-
are
he
raised
wa-
in the... Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Fate's fortune. Yeah,
Does he show it to me?
fortune. Yeah.
Does
Do
he
you shout again?
Yeah, it's just like, hey, I found one in common.
For Galrok, for you, it's in Dwarven.
Okay. So I find a book in Dwarven. I
For
put it in
Teak,
my
it's
bag of
in
holding.
Gnomish for flip's sake.
But the so there's three books of these.
No, there's 2, and the one that Fluke at least has, and you're not sure about yours because you just put it in your, didn't show it to anyone and put it in your bag.
Okay.
It seems that to you, it seems like it's in Dwarven. To when Fluke looks at it, it's in Common. When a Teak looks at it, it's in Gnomish. No, actually, it would be in Halfling because she was raised by Halflings.
Oh.
All right, gentlemen and gentleladies, I believe that it might be best if we keep this to ourselves. I mean, especially if we're going to be the Feywilds. Do any of you have any particular disinterest if I put this in my bag of holding for future keepings? I mean, there is a demon that wishes to know more about this. Or at least, maybe not necessarily a demon, but somebody that works for the demons and the speaker of Tiamat. Do you oppose if I keep this in my safe keepings, or do you wish to keep it for yourselves?
Really quick, 2 things. 1, how can she have been raised by halflings?
Yeah, I was just typing it out. She doesn't know Halfling apparently.
Yeah, I was just
but she's been raised by Halfling. So
yeah, I kind of
common.
like. Should it replace Gnomish, maybe?
Okay.
So it's in common. So it's in common. Let's.
Yeah. What I was going to say is the second thing is Teak would probably want to immediately, like, realizing that that's some sort of magic thing, and knowing that the demon lawyer wants it, try to see if she can cast Identify on it.
Okay.
And she will ritual cast it.
While she is doing that, we'll go back downstairs.
Oh boy.
As unless there's anything the 3 of you still want to do after Fluke's gone up and you have had your conversation.
Not inherently.
In that case, a couple of moments pass while Fluke is upstairs doing his searching and his stalking. As there is suddenly a knock on the door.
Oh god.
Which door? The door that we're in the house of?
Yeah, the front door as well.
Okay.
I forgot we were in a constructed building area. So you said there was a knock on the door, and my brain was like, there's a door?
Oh, yeah, I can put you back on that map, but...
No, my brain remembered. Yeah. My brain remembered now.
Okay.
Porcelain is going to, like, pinch the bridge of her nose for a second, and then she's going to just say... Who's there?
It is a fun.
You're outside the building.
Porcelain's gonna go to the door and she's going to open it and say, of course it is.
Thank you. And he walks inside, steps inside.
I am still in my dome.
I was honestly, how do you say, worried when I noticed the young man here, and he points like roughly in the direction of Hephe, or of Hephe of Chodi. It suddenly disappeared, but he seems to have reappeared. Do you still need him for anything? He still has a ritual he needs to do for me.
Right.
He was going to show us the safe way out. Quick question: what ritual is that for you?
The ritual that will send my... Wait, no, wait. Can he say that actually? The ritual will... How do you
will
say?
It save pool of health?
Some of the souls downstairs, and hopefully it will also... Well, I told you about my contract a little bit, so it will might have something to do with that as well.
Okay. You can't. So just to make sure, I as a player don't want to like ask him the same question twice. He's basically saying he can't answer whether or not it will help pull health.
No, you have no idea, Galrok. He's not he's to him like pool of health is not a part of the equation as well. It's just for him. This ritual will how do you say, will unlock the crystal, freeing everything inside, which means that Which means that his client is also free because the client then has failed their contract, but that is better than just having to be forced in that one specific point all the time.
Can Asri try to do maybe like some sort of insight or something to try to figure out if this is the same ritual that Chodi was talking about doing?
What are you? How do you try to infer that out of his words or out of? Like...
Actually, I can just ask Chodi directly. Chodi, is the ritual he's talking about, is that the same one that would save Pool of Health?
I mean, I know only one ritual.
Avon, does he know this ritual? Is that the ritual he knows, or is this something you're going to be teaching him?
Oh no, it is the ritual. I think I originally taught this to his grandparents, or maybe some other relative to him.
It long time we did not really want to resort to this because it's a failure of the contract, as it were, and
no one likes failing a contract.
Exactly, we would like to find a way to succeed instead. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, could you let him show us the way out first and then take him to do your ritual?
Of course. Wait. The way out? I can show you the way out if you need to.
Fantastic. Does anyone have opposed to Avon showing us the way out, the safe route out?
I'm gonna tug your ear.
What do you hear in your head?
Do you really trust him?
Absolutely not.
But the DM's didn't tell me. I don't know if I can insight whether or not
he said. Okay, could I insight him saying that was the ritual Chodi knows? I guess that's what I'll insight. Whether he was telling the truth, that the ritual Chodi knows.
Okay, yeah, that is something. Roll insight. Sure.
Okay. Because I'm being asked if I believe him, and I'm like, let's find out.
With a 16, I'll say you figure that it is the ritual that he is like being a little bit deceptive, but more to Chodi than to you, as it were. It is the ritual that Chodi knows. He just might have been very honest when he taught the ritual to like his descendants, as were.
Understood.
Pre-descendants.
It might not actually heal Pool of Health, but it will end the contract.
Gotcha. Well, we need him to perform that ritual anyways, as we will say in his head. And if it is the same ritual, I can get in the feeling of that. So, I mean, if he's got to perform the ritual, it's either going to save Pool of Health or not. We have nothing else to go on, and he says that it will free the souls down there, including Hefe's. So it either saves Pool of Health or free souls down there, and I'm not sure that that's a lose for us. I mean, I suppose if people who want to be upset about it can take the moral loss, I'll be honest with you, I don't take that as a loss. Hefe's soul will be free at the price of the man who lied to him his whole life.
But doesn't that release the ravishing flame?
You're not wrong.
We have to go off of the words of Chodi, who's practically a bad man, mind you, that everything is okay if we let him out.
We go based off of, what's it called? Hefe's words. And that's the ravaging flame is trying to summon fire spirits to create a giant war that we need to find a way to stop.
Well, what I can do.
Or we can all do.
Alright then. I suppose let's follow the demon.
Well, I mean, hold on. Decorum, she's going to say in your head. Quote of the session. Decorm, you're good with this, right? Him showing us the way out, giving him Chodi.
Yep.
Worst case scenario is that the souls are free down there, including Hefe's. Best case scenario, Pool of Health is healed, right?
Maybe if we have any luck, he'll take Galrok too.
Okay, I mean, Galrok's been a little cowardly, but I won't say that he's... Okay. Fair enough, we're in the sanctity of our heads. Can't be rude in your own head. Where can you be rude?
Exactly.
Alrighty. She's going to run upstairs as I'm assuming Teak is finishing casting and say, "Hey guys, Yvonne's here."
Can we finish our conversation of whether or not they're okay with giving me the book for a bag of holding?
It's you can't finish the conversation because Teak was still like Teak can still talk while doing the ritual, but about the same time that the ritual finishes is when Ezra comes upstairs. And I'll also just say for the ease of it, the identify spell, it works, but Teak is very sure that there's more to it than what she finds, because it is not one enchantment. Like, it seems that every page of this book has a different enchantment, and all of them are like ridiculously complicated. But the one thing that she does definitely notice is like this book will always be readable to anyone who reads. Even if you aren't even able to read, you'd still somehow be able to comprehend this book.
Wow.
I'll be honest, Galrok, since you already have a copy, would it be okay if I kept this one to study?
What do you have to say about it, Flu?
I would.
This is before Asri comes up.
Yeah.
Oh, this is okay.
I think she should be entitled to a copy to study. I do think perhaps maybe we keep it in the pocket dimension until we're farther away from the demons. I mean, what do you think on that, Teak? Does that sound fair?
Okay, so once we leave, I can get this back then, right, Galrok?
I have no problems against giving it back to you. I mean, you and Fluke were the rightful owners. If you decide that you want to be able to have it back to your possessions, I just don't trust that Avon character. I mean, he's been working for the Abashi, and if I know anything about Abashi, they want us all dead.
As she will hand it over to him, then
I will put it into my bag of holding.
At that point,
hey guys, Avon's here.
Just like strains up, just like, oh wow.
All right, so I'm gonna put in my inventory 2 books of
Magic.
What's it called? What's
Stories for the Young Faithful.
Stories for the Young Faithful, and both are weighing 5 pounds each, based off of pound the
that's
the weight of
Don't need to pay attention to that.
And then see if I can't fix my over. There we go. So at that point, once upon they hand it to me and I put it in my bag of holding, that's the point that Asri comes up.
I imagine I see you pulling your hand out of your book, or bag, I imagine. But
yeah.
So after I put the book into my bag of holding is when you come up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see nothing but you standing there talking. Then I say, Avon's here, and he might have one hell of a deal for us. He takes Chodi off our hands, let them do whatever they're going to do, and shows us a safe route out of here.
I'm going to be honest with you, Asri. Do you really trust a demon that is a lawyer of another bunch of demons? Especially one that is a speaker of Tiamat.
I'm going to be honest with you. The implications are either Chodi's correct and his ritual saves the pool of health, the god of the Silver Blossom plan, or the lawyer's correct and this ritual is going to free all of the souls that are trapped down here. So, I'll be honest with you. It's a win-win for me, because the ritual, they both know Chodi dies. So, I'm not really having a loss here. It's not about trust. It's about either of the options not being a loss.
Alright, so neither of your options are a loss, except for the fact that one might be actually right and one might actually be wrong. I understand. How do you feel about this, Sir Flute? I honestly feel like I honestly feel about your group of adventurers very, very little care about your opinion. How do you feel about it?
He's just gonna give him a side glance, just like, well, I will say it doesn't look like these particular fiends have much concern about us, so that makes me a little less worried about what machinations they might have. But I also ponder, what are we going to really do about it, realistically?
I mean, we
If
could
we
always
say no
kill
to
this
their deal-
Eidolon character. I mean, I don't trust him
Oh,
particularly. He's been
okay,
working
so-
with the Abishai.
Okay,
As
so
he's
you
going to
don't
whisper very, very quietly, "What are you talking about? He is the lawyer for the Speaker of Tiamat. If you're afraid of the Speaker of Tiamat, who is afraid of this man, how are you not afraid of this man?"
Who are you whispering to?
To you, not, this isn't in your head. This is out loud, like trying to, like, what are you talking about? How are you afraid of the Speaker of Tiamat, but not afraid of the person he's afraid of?
Oh, I am very afraid of a Speaker of Tiamat, but I am not necessarily afraid of a lawyer of a Speaker of Tiamat. There are 6 of us and only 1 of him, but there's only 1 Speaker of Tiamat.
And there's only one person that we know that the Speaker of Tiamat is afraid of right now, and that's Avon.
You say that he's afraid of, versus another person that is allied with. Just because you were allies does not mean that you were afraid of.
That was his words.
Whose words exactly? Is this the Speaker's
The Speaker
words?
of Tiamat. The Speaker of Tiamat said that I would be afraid to fight him.
The Speaker of Tiamat says that he's afraid to fight his own lawyer.
Oh, your book was there. Didn't your book hear that? Can't you hear through your book?
Yes, I can hear through my book. I'm just asking for reference sake.
My apologies. Okay, my bad. I was confused. I was literally like, wait, is this news?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I try to play it as if my character doesn't know everything that happens when he's not around.
Gotcha.
So,
That's what I wanted to make sure. It's like, wait, your character. I was confused for a second, but no, yeah. She's like, listen. The Speaker said himself that he would be afraid to fight Avon. So I'm just saying, like, if you're afraid to fight the Speaker, the Speaker is afraid to fight Avon. So I would kind of show the same kind of fear if I were you. And honestly, I'm less afraid of the Speaker than I am of Avon.
But I think that is your mistake. I'm much more afraid of the Speaker than I am of a lawyer.
I'm afraid of the person that the Speaker's afraid of, because that person isn't bound to a singular room that I could possibly escape.
It looks like, yeah, that. I mean, at least with the Speaker, we meet him on whatever terms we decide, and including no terms.
So
this man could decide to chase us to the ends of the earth, and, murder our families, and, just because he's annoyed with us.
So what exactly is the Speaker asking of us?
From my understanding, this ritual is going to null the contract.
The contract of what exactly? I mean, his contract has been seemed to be not exactly clear.
That whatever it is, it keeps him down here to protect that off switch. Go ahead, Fluke, please. I'm sorry.
That wasn't me coughing.
No, she's at this point. Yeah, she's just at this point, like, because Fluke was gonna say something. She's like, she doesn't know how to explain it else, other than like the Speaker was trapped down there. This would null his contract, keeping him trapped down there.
I was gonna say, I think he just wants Chodi more than anything else, but I wasn't down there for that, so...
I mean, personally, what exactly is the lawyer wanting?
To broker, I'm assuming, but the terms and conditions he needs right now is he's taking Chodi. We can either be cool about this and find a safe way out, or we can try to fight him.
I mean, we don't necessarily need to have a fight just because we disagree. I would personally prefer to keep this Chodi character of which you will, because he might have information which I need. This Aaron character, he may know nothing about the Spire Spirits, but necessarily serve his own masters and his own whims. How about we go down there and have negotiate conversations with him?
That's the whole thing we came up here. I said, let's go. Come on.
All right, let's go down there and
Yeah, we probably shouldn't keep him waiting.
Yeah, let's not keep him waiting. And I'm also gonna cast spells message to both to Fluke and then to Teak. Let's keep the secrets of this book that which the lawyer wishes secrets, okay? And then secrets.
And then secrets.
Let's just keep it secrets.
Say that whole sentence again for me.
Okay, I'm gonna say, let's keep this book that which the lawyer's speaker wishes to know secret.
Okay, keep the book a secret. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And head back down, I guess.
How close is Galrok? Because you have to point your finger at these people and stuff.
You're
Can
ahead
we
of
do
us,
any-
so I
Yeah,
did it
it's-
as soon as you were facing forward, not looking at us, because you're facing forward towards down the stairs, and
you
you're
wanted
ahead
me
of
to
us.
lead, not be in the back. Gotcha. I had thought that Galrok was in the front, not me.
I mean,
Okay.
you came up to us
yeah,
in the
you
middle of
came up and then-
investigating
You're right.
books.
You're right. I get you. I had it wrong in my head.
Yeah.
But it
I
was a
imagine
whisper. That
this
was my
is
main
as
thing.
Ezra
So
kind of still like standing on the stairs while this whole conversation was happening.
Cool.
Okay. So you move down. Anything Porcelain or Decorm want to have done in the in-between?
Overthink what I'd done to end up in hell.
right? Fucking seriously.
Let's be honest, this isn't hell. This is a goddamn abyss.
As soon as Asri's gone, Porcelain will say, she'll be a bit.
I mean, she was just kind of popped up the stairs to like talking at them, kind of like a mom yelling at her kids, but it turned into a full-ass conversation, so she was just kind of leaning on the stairs, so you could still see her.
It's exactly why, that was exactly why Porcelain told Yvonne she's going to be a minute.
Avan is just gonna make himself comfortable in the chair and find his pipe and start smoking it.
I have a question for you, actually.
Wait. Oh.
Of course.
Why is it you suggested to us bringing Hephe back before? If you can simply solve this problem without him.
Well, how do I say? How do I? Wow, I completely lost him. How do you say the? There are still many opportunities to have a better way of the contract, but the employer has agreed that it is unlikely at this point. It was all mostly a fairly safe as it were. We also were under the impression we still had a couple of months at least before the Hephe would appear here, and in that time we would see what else could be done. Its suggestion to save your ally was mostly because, from how I know mortals, that's usually what they're on about.
Well, you'll have to forgive us, we can be a bit narrow-sighted.
Yeah, same thing. Same from here. Devils have their own tunnel vision.
I do have one last question, and I'm sure you can't answer it, but it's worth a shot. How does the Prince of Lavasti get a deal with the Speaker of Tiamat?
I cannot answer your question. I can think about Tiamat, who is the goddess of many dragons.
Is that like the main religion in Lavasti? Do I not remember that?
No, it's definitely not.
Okay.
Tiamat, like Bahamut is very big, like in Lavasti. Tiamat is the main enemy of Bahamut. So even just Bahamut's presence would make the whole country kind of like a target for Tiamat, as it were, just to spite Bahamut.
Okay. Okay, that makes this a lot deeper, actually.
Can I ask a question too?
Of course.
Are you a demon?
No.
Wanna look angry at porcelain? I'm confused.
Should you insight?
Use the wrong nomenclature.
I didn't call him a demon, for the record. I called him a fiend.
Oh, are you a fiend? Sorry.
Define fiends. It's
Anytime you have to say
not
define it.
very...
You got me. Didn't realize. She had to tell me.
Oh. Well, I'm a fiend in the form. I was born in the 9th Hells. The 7th, to be precise.
Of course, I'm gonna look pointedly at you. Like, what? Come on. Say it.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I was right.
I never said you weren't.
I mean, he even actually openly admitted that, hey, oh, you got me. She had to tell me. So, like, he has openly said that you were right.
Sorry, I thought he was talking to him, not me.
Yeah, I was talking to him, but you are also there.
I mean, you're in the room, so he's openly, loudly admitted it.
That's fair enough. Well,
that's all I had.
Wonder when they're going to get here.
As Ashley spins downstairs.
I mean, so after everyone goes back down, I guess Asri will walk back up the stairs and reassume a position on the stairs, because that's where I wanted to keep her, but she had to go down first for the earlier scene to work.
Alright, so if you're on the stairs, I'm staying behind you on the stairs.
Her back is going to be at, because there was a bit of thing I imagined to the wall, so she's kind of standing at it, so we'd be like next to each other, looking down at him, I imagine.
That's fair.
Okay.
Where would Teak and Floop go?
I assumed that since you said I had to lead, that everyone walked down, and then Asri walked back up.
I mean, they could squeeze past you.
The point is, I'm trying to make it so you don't have to be behind me if you don't want to. You can be. Unless you're just trying to get distance between you and him. I don't know. You be where you want to be, dog.
But I'm behind you above the stairs. Where's Fluke and Teak?
It's not that important at the moment.
Okay.
Where exactly you're standing.
Okay, cool.
5 seconds later, roll for initiative.
It's very important time.
Yeah, there is the larger group that I met before. How is it going?
It is going well. What do you wish, ye speaker of the lawyer of Tiamat?
Lawyer is a technically accurate word, but just to be clear, I am a witness and enforcer of contracts.
All right. What do you wish, you enforcer of the contract that holds the speaker of Tiamat downstairs?
You can just call me Avan.
Avan, what do you exactly wish then? If you do not wish these titles, what do you wish, Avan?
Well, as I told your friends, I would like to take this Chodi fellow and have him held up as part of the deal.
Would you perhaps wait until we've had an opportunity to question this Chodi, if you will?
Of course, I've waited for a long time, so I can wait a couple more hours, I guess.
A couple more hours, perhaps another day or two. Would that be willing upon your constitution, if you will?
Well, I guess I can look upstairs, see if there's something to read there.
Very well. Do you have a sending stone that we could use to contact you until we are ready to further these negotiations?
The walls of ears, I can hear. I will appear. Just ask.
So you're able to hear us when we're talking, is what you're saying?
Most of the time.
Most of the time, so there is no secrecy upon our own party members. Understood.
So, if you want to have your discussion, I will go upstairs.
Yes, we can have our discussions, but you will understand everything that we are discussing.
Well, I'll be reading. Your conversations are not that interesting to me, to be honest.
But you are able to understand them nonetheless.
Thank you, Yvonne. I appreciate your patience with our group.
And Avan is gonna try and make his way upstairs.
I have no ill will towards you, except for the fact that you seem to be working for the Speaker of Tiamat, and for him, I am terribly afraid.
If you say so, I will leave you to it.
I'm gonna message towards Azri and say, I do not trust this lawyer that was able to understand us, even though he is not present.
We're in their domain right now. There's very little we can do about many things.
Is that response to my message, or is that response within my head?
Only you can hear. It's your okay. When message, the way I understand messages, you're the one who says something out loud. I respond in my head. You point your finger to the target, and only target hears the message, and you can reply, in whisper that only you can hear. So yeah, like I said, like you kind of speak it out loud, whisper a message, and then I can respond in your head. So like I'm not sure what the difference would be between you.
No, so I can message towards you. You respond in my head. Message does not cause a response.
Gotcha.
So I'll say in my head. I do not trust that.
That's right. The target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
Yeah.
So I will think in my head without casting message again. I do not trust this lawyer that is able to perceive our conversations. I do not trust this man whatsoever, or this being.
Galrok, I'll be honest. Do you even trust me or anyone in this group besides Teak?
I'll be honest with you. I do not trust any of you since I've only known you less than a day. But do I believe that you're willing to do good? Perhaps. But you're also willing to make deals with the devil, and that is not necessarily the best ideas whatsoever.
You say willing to make deals with the devil. What deals have we been willing to make other than not getting in his way of wanting Chodi? We're trying to barter to get information out, but let's be real here. I'm not afraid of the Speaker of Tiamat simply because I believe I could get out of that room. I'm afraid of this man because the Speaker of Tiamat was afraid to fight this entity. So, yes, I understand where you're coming from, but tell me, if you don't think all of us could stop the Speaker of Tiamat, do you think that all of us could stop him? Since the Speaker of Tiamat was not sure that they could stop him.
Just because the Speaker of Tiamat is not able to stop him does not mean that we won't be able to stop him. I do not know this man other than simply that he is Avon, and that he seems to be open to negotiations. You don't understand you don't understand is that the Speaker of Tiamat is stuck within a room, whereas this Avon is able to freely travel. I'm not saying that I am not willing to negotiate with him, this Chodi fellow of which you do not trust, but I simply wish to know what this Chodi fellow wishes to say before we negotiate his life upon their behalf.
I mean, that's what you just did. You tried to negotiate for not a few hours and leaving in the morning, but apparently a couple of days.
A couple of days is much more important because then I am able to prepare my spirit to detect thoughts and determine whether or not this Chodi fellow is worth risking our lives for.
We're not. No one here is going to risk their life for Chodi except for you, maybe. I doubt. Well, let me phrase this. Fluke might. I doubt it. I haven't actually asked him yet. I mean, Porcelain, I doubt will risk her life for Chodi, but she might be willing to defend him in a negotiation. The only ones here who truly are not willing to negotiate, would like to negotiate for Chodi's life, would probably be myself and Decorm. But let's be real here. No, I don't think anyone is actually willing to put their life on the line for Chodi within our group.
Risking our lives is the wrong choice, but perhaps risking the knowledge upon which Chodi has is much more worthwhile.
Yes, you like the knowledge, his books. You can use your detect thoughts. You have your 2 days. I don't know what more what you're wanting me to say. At this point, we're sitting and waiting for you to get that done.
Then perhaps we should just wait until that is done.
And so
she disconnects. Like she disconnects. At this point, you're just talking, and you're talking in a circle with her. She's like, okay, you've got the 2 days though. You got them. What more do you want for Azri can't do anything?
Just because I've negotiated for it does not mean that you are in agreement for the negotiations. Oh,
Again,
I
she'd
see
already
that you are no
disconnected.
longer listening to what I have said. Then I will use message to say, just because you are not in agreement does not mean that we are not willing to negotiate worth the time.
She will say out loud, "Okay, cool." Listen, the fact of the matter is, you want this information. I would like to beat the crap out of Chodi, give him to the speaker, and be done with this, because at this point, I'm in a win-win situation. But because I have my win-win situation, I understand that I may be a little impatient. So I didn't get in the way of you and your 48 hours, or your 2 days, or whatever you want to call it, because I understand that the information is important to you. At this point, I think you should focus less on trying to make us all make myself appeased with what you would like, and more of trying to get as much information down as you can.
I'm gonna message back via my cantrip and say, perhaps that is why I've only been beginning to lay my inroads upon people that are more reasonable.
Wait, so at this point, you are sending with messages, but as
we're talking out loud.
Yeah. So my
Ezra's
response
just
to
done.
her
Fair.
is saying, perhaps I've been only willing to lay my my logics upon people that are a bit more reasonable than you are.
What more do you want from me? You asked him for 2 days, he said sure. If you had asked for more, we'd probably be waiting for that amount too. What exactly have I been unreasonable about with you?
I'm not gonna reply to that.
We get your dome back up, Azri.
Can we do
Yes.
a time skip of 8 hours, please?
Yeah.
I will begin
I think
to
at this
cast.
point we can just call the session.
I will begin to cast Private Sanctum, so that way we can have a full 24 hours of silence.
Okay.
And I will detract the spell slot for it as well.
Yeah. So, with that, I suggest we do end the session there.
Mhm.